Oh, the Hog Pen is the place to be again today for SEC baseball at Baum-Walker Stadium. There are a few places quite like Arkansas for college baseball. Be careful out there. Got a little Halloween mixed in Easter as well as the LSU Tigers and Arkansas Razorbacks finish off a 3-game weekend series. Hey, welcome up to the booth. Brett Dolan, Troy Eklund. I wanted him to have that design in his face. He decided not to. Hey, last year these teams went 2-2 against each other. LSU won the regular season series. Arkansas won the game of the SEC tournament. Arkansas won the SEC regular division championship, but LSU won the national championship. There's been very little separation, Troy, but Arkansas today is going for the sweep.
Yeah, the game yesterday, this is the huge hit. Hudson White jumps on the first pitch. Will Edmondson scores from the plate, from first base, and that was a big walk-off. And he took a bath after that, Brett.
Yeah, he sure did. This was post-game. He got the water bath after the walk-off hit in extra innings, giving Arkansas the series victory. Also, 16 straight wins at Baum-Walker Stadium. That ties the all-time record from 1997. They're trying to set it outright today, and they will do so with Brady Tigert on the mound.
Yeah, Brady Tigert, he's got special stuff. That fastball is going to sit in that low 90s, and the breaking ball is still there. The spin rate's off the charts, but again, control is going to be the key for Brady Tigert. Can he spot that fastball to work off that breaking ball?
And starting in Game 3 of this series rather than Game 2, the lineup he will face for the LSU Tigers trying to get out of here with a win will feature Tommy White leading off for Jay Johnson, so that's different. Larson in left, then it's Jones, Stravinsky, Pearson, Bingham, the Arizona transfer, Milam at second, Braswell the third at short, and Brady Neal behind the plate.
Brett, this really feels like a heavyweight fight, and you know, both teams are just throwing blow after blow, and I feel like that Arkansas just feels lucky to survive these 2 games. I mean, it has been an absolute battle. Some of the best college baseball this season.
That's just it. Very little separation between these 2 teams over the last couple of years, but Arkansas has found a way to get a couple of wins. You know LSU really wants to get a victory to get out of here today, and Arkansas has a rare opportunity to sweep the defending national champions. So here is Tommy White with 8 homers. And the first pitch of our game, that is strike 1, says Brandon Cooper, our plate umpire. Ben Levine at first, David Ewell at second, Chavero January umpires at third base. White hitting at a .322 clip. Lifts that in the air, rather deep right field. Diggs is back. He's going to run out of room. That is career home run number 60 for Tommy Tanks. A big round number, and he starts the game with an opposite field home run. Give the Tigers the lead. We wonder why he was leading off. Well, he starts the game with a home run.
That's a pretty good way to lead off, but you've got a guy that's just your best hitter hands down, and you want to get him as many at-bats as you can. I'll tell you, I'm going to comment on Tommy White's batting practice. You talk about a professional batting practice. He hit everything up the middle the other way, didn't overswing, and it correlates and translates to the game right there.
And we're going to talk a lot about Tommy White and his career and his approach and whatnot as this game progresses. But Tiger greeted with the long ball. Ashton Larson, 0 for 2 in this series, getting the start in left field. Probably a few family members here from Overland Park, Kansas. And swings through the pitch from Tigert. Now Brady coming off a career high 5 walks against Auburn in 3 1/3 innings. He had 4 walks in 4 2/3 innings against Mizzou with a couple of hit batters. Teams haven't hit him. That's a swing and a foul tip for strike 3. Far fewer hits, almost a hit for every 2 innings of work. Now he's given up a homer and had a strikeout in this game, but it's been a combination, Troy. I think he's just trying to find that command of that fastball and maybe utilize all of his pitches, 3 or 4 pitches, not just the curve and the fastball.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Matt Hobbs really wants him to lean on maybe the slider a little bit more. The changeup is what he got Larson on right there. And those pitches are effective, and sometimes you try to lean on your best pitches a little too much. There's that big sweeping breaking ball.
To Jared Jones, who had 3 homers in 5 games coming into the series. 10 homers on the season for Jones, who has reached base in 14 straight games.
We were talking to Coach Johnson before the game, Brett, and commented to him about Jared Jones, and I said, you know, he seems like he's having much better command. There's a good look at Jay Johnson, much better command of the strike zone. And I said, if he starts swinging at strikes the way he can hit the ball, that's really pretty scary.
Big time potential in that bat. 2-1 the count. '68-degree afternoon. It's overcast. It's humid, a little bit hazy. Not quite the wind issue that we had the last 2 games. There were several balls the last 2 nights that under calm conditions would have been home runs that were not.
Well, I think so. I think the ball that Braswell hit late in the ball game yesterday, it almost was like a mirror image of the one that Tommy White hit that got out today.
2-2. There's that breaking ball, a little more bite, and a swing and a miss for strike 3. A home run, then back-to-back strikeouts from Tiger. Next man in, Hayden Travinski. Homered off Hagen Smith the other night.
Travinski seems like one of those guys that's been at LSU for like 4 years or 5 years. Seems like he's been there forever, and there's a defense for Arkansas.
Yeah, Edmondson in left, Wilmsmeyer in center, Spraglott at third. For Travinski last year, 10 home runs, 30 knocked in, and one of those names you recognize, although for the most part, Tommy White, the lone position player starter from an everyday basis. They've had different catchers and DHs for LSU this year, but they lose Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz and whatnot, kind of trying to find their way, and they're trying to do it without falling any further behind in the league at 2-6. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike from Tiger.
That's a lot of respect for 3-0 breaking ball.
Sure is.
Talks about the power of Hayden Travinski. He can hit the ball out to all fields.
Tiger trying to be a little more efficient. The 3-1 pitch. Threw that breaking ball again. Matt Hobbs has said this week that maybe Tiger was spinning off the ball a bit, not staying through the ball, and maybe getting a few floating curves. They've had a little more bite, it feels like, today.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes they call those the ones that float a little bit. The cement mixers are just up there spinning.
3-2 pitch. Came back and threw it again. He went curveball heavy. Strikes out 3 in a row after the leadoff home run from Tommy Tanks. It's 1-0 LSU.
Okay, when you turn around, you're going to see some more.
You have a turkey and cheese.
Let's imagine that LL Cool J has a bubble around him. Do we want to be inside?
I'm Keith.
There are some situations that young homeowners turning into their parents just can't handle.
Yep, there he is. There's my nephew.
Very
Now, I got a video of him playing piano.
That's not how you take a selfie.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
3, 2, 1.
We don't need a countdown. Just take the picture.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school. But the good news is, Xfinity Mobile just got even better. Now, you can automatically connect to Wi-Fi speeds up to 1 gig on the go. Plus, buy 1 unlimited line and get 1 free for a year.
I gotta get this deal.
That's like $20 a month per unlimited line. I don't want to miss that.
That's amazing.
Mobile savings are calling. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more.
Tigers strike first on the home run from Tommy White as Arkansas gets ready to bat in the bottom of the first inning. And they'll do so against Gage Jump.
Yeah, Gage Jump, he's got some good stuff. 32 punch-outs in 22 2/3 innings and a really nice ERA. You see that 2.38 ERA. And, again, just a guy that can fill up the strike zone. You see the little bit of a funky delivery, and it's going to be tough on those left-handed hitters for Arkansas.
Including the man at the top, Peyton Stovall. Left-handed heavy lineup that Arkansas will run out there. Stovall, Aloy, McLaughlin. Then White, the cleanup hitter, last night's hero. Diggs, Spraglott, Edmondson, Helfrich behind the plate this afternoon. Wilmsmeyer in center field. So Arkansas has won 16 straight home games, 7-1 in league play. And Troy, I don't care who you play, when you play them, if you can get off to an 8-1 start in the first 3 conference series, you feel like you're playing with the house's money for a period of time.
So. Arkansas is feeling really good about where they are right now, and it's a long conference season. And it is not easy to chalk up victories.
Well, Gage jump ready, and his pitch at 93 misses up and in to Stovall, who has 5 hits this series, couple of runs batted in. He's reached base in 13 straight games, and you see those great numbers. Even better in SEC play. But facing Jump, UCLA transfer. Spent a couple of years at UCLA. He was an 18th round pick in 2021 by the Padres, decided to be a Bruin instead. Last year, though, did not pitch due to Tommy John. So really only about 14 innings or so with UCLA before he transferred. J. Sarah Catholic High School product in San Juan Capistrano. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. And Troy, when he was coming out of high school, he was the number 5 left-hander in the nation. He was that highly thought of.
Yeah, you can tell he's got some good stuff, and the ball just jumps out of his hand. 93 is not slow, but some guys have that real short arm motion, and the ball just gets on top of hitters, and I think that's what Gage Jump has, is that just little extra something where that ball just jumps, has a lot of carry, stays on plane really well. You see that swing right there.
3/4 of a swing counts as a full strike, and after falling behind 3-0, Jump will K Peyton Stovall. Pitch had some jump to it.
Yeah, it really did. Again, when we talk about the pitch having some carry and staying on plane, it stays up. Every pitch looks like it's going to have a little bit drop, but that thing stays up in the zone. You can see Stovall could not lay off that pitch about shoulder high.
Here is Vahiva Aloy. He has reached base in 15 straight games and socks one down the right field line and into the Loge boxes. Leads this team in runs batted in with 24. Those numbers are really just starting to climb and fitting in the middle of this Arkansas lineup. DVH this week said Aloy was trying to do too much early, and then when that doesn't work out, you try to play catch-up, which means you're trying to do even more, and before you know it, you're all messed up. Things have slowed down for Vahiva. He strokes one to left field. Hit well, back towards the wall. It's going to go. A home run from Aloy. Each team is homered in this first inning, and we're off to a long ball start at Baum Walker. Number 6 for Vahiva. Aloha does mean goodbye, and that stroke continues.
Well, just tremendous confidence. Aloy's really not expanding the strike zone near that he did. A hanging breaking ball. He hit that ball really well. How about 112 off the bat of Vahiva Aloy? I mean, the ball just comes off his bat different. Didn't get out by a whole lot, but hey, it looks like a blast in the book.
Did it hit the railing behind the yellow line?
I think there's some concrete back there that it hit and bounced up. I think that's right in front of that railing.
I thought he got that a bit off the end of that bat, and you're right, that's at 112 off his bat. Here's Ben McLaughlin.
Well, like the saying goes, good teams answer when scored upon, and Arkansas comes back with another big swing. Each team, again, this is like a heavyweight fight. A couple big blows by each team early.
See Ben's numbers on the season. What you don't see, 23 base on balls. He has the most walks for a team that has walked a ton this year. He has the best on base percentage, just under 460. Couple of hits to show for his efforts this week. Of course, the walks were a big part of the series on Thursday when LSU walked Arkansas 11 times. 16 free passes by Tigers pitchers this weekend.
That's tough. And Arkansas hasn't really capitalized a tremendous amount, but that's going to cause some problems.
Here's a 2-2. It's an interesting windup from Jump, isn't it? When he kind of rocks back, it's almost, I don't know if Sandy Koufax, when he really had that tilt, it's almost like he's kind of falling backwards before he comes down to the plate. Watch his mechanics as you see the walks and strikeouts. 31 Tigers have struck out, but here is this unique little tilt right there. Kind of hangs a bit. Gives those lefties a lot to look at. What were you saying about his splits between left-handed batters and right-handed batters?
Yeah, what's pretty unusual is that the lefties are actually hitting Jump better than righties, which, again, doesn't make any sense. How about lefties hitting 235, righties 131?
Yet the two lefties this inning have struck out.
That's why you take stats and you throw them in the trash.
I guess. You do kind of see that baseball, though, from Jump when he has that unique windup. I mean, you do see it off his left shoulder.
Yeah, I think so, but again, he's going to have a lot of success. Here is the LSU defense.
And a nice ovation for Hudson White, last night's hero. It was his welcome to Arkansas moment, and then he lines one into center for a base hit, falling in front of Bingham. I know it's March 30th, Troy, but sometimes it takes a big moment to kind of really get the fans behind you. And I know it was kind of a slow start for Hudson for a while, but all of a sudden his numbers in SEC play better than 333.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was probably one of those guys as well, pressing a little bit. When you're a highly touted transfer, I think you feel a little extra pressure. Hudson White and Mason Molina both came from Texas Tech, really great program there, and said he was really happy to be at Arkansas.
Brings up Kendall Diggs. Had a homer, knocked in 3. Big blow late in the game on Thursday night to give Arkansas some separation when it's been really tough to come by in any of these games or series between these teams in recent years. Those proved to be big runs. 6 homers for Diggs. Pretty good pitch, missing a little bit down, 2-0.
Yeah, that's a borderline pitch that goes the hitter's way. How about Milam, the second baseman, playing shallow right field for Kendall Diggs?
He's way out there. And Diggs will take a strike over the outside corner at 94 in the gun.
How about this for Gage Jump? 50% of the balls hit on him against him are fly balls, 50% ground balls. Spreads it around.
Opportunity outmaker. That might drop. Going out is Braswell, and it will be caught. I thought he was in no man's land, but he made the catch.
That is an unbelievable, epic play right there, because Hudson White's going to be standing on third base. That is just a tremendous Sports Center play by Braswell to third.
There they are. Everybody get their banking done?
Let's go, drive, we gotta go.
Someone's in a hurry. And 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Can we go?
Yeah, faster. Oh, no, siree. You see, I get discounts for my safe driving with Snapshot from Progressive. You should see my savings. They're nuts.
You told us he was a skilled wheelman.
No, I'm a wheelman. His family name on my mother's side. What? Irish.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school.
What?
But the good news is, Xfinity Mobile just got even better. Now, you can automatically connect to Wi-Fi speeds up to 1 gig on the go. Plus, buy 1 unlimited line and get 1 free for a year.
I gotta get this deal.
That's like $20 a month per unlimited line. I don't want to miss that.
That's amazing.
Mobile savings are calling. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more.
Hey, we're off and rolling. We go to the top of the second, a 1-1 game, the Tigers and the Razorbacks. Well, last weekend, DVH got 3 grandchildren and 2 wins.
That's a pretty good weekend.
He's trying for 3 wins and no more grandchildren this weekend. This is Josh Pearson leading off, and he takes strike 1. I know Arkansas social media accounts, they will kind of post the clip of the video of DVH talking to the team after big wins, and always enjoy kind of going behind the scenes. Pearson spanks one out to left field. Edmondson is on the track. He'll make the catch of that liner for the first out in the second inning. He was just really proud of his team, though, last night, and you can understand. I think each of these teams use the other program as kind of a measuring stick. And when you can beat LSU or LSU can beat Arkansas, that feels almost like a win and a half.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, both these coaches, all the players on both teams, just incredibly respect the other program and what they do and how they go about the game. And I think it's a little bit different of a win when you can beat such a quality team. And I tell you, I know that LSU is down just a tick in conference play. They're an amazing team. And just talking even to Nate Thompson, the hitting coach for Arkansas, he said what a great team they are.
Bingham, the Arizona transfer, hits a big chopper to Stovall to makes the play. Retires Mac Bingham for the second out. And even Jay Johnson today just talking to us, I think there's a great deal of respect for Arkansas. And I get a feeling there's probably a few nights when he puts his head to the pillow, he's wondering what's Arkansas doing right now. And DVH might be doing the same when he's not worried about those 3 grandkids. Hey, what's Jay Johnson doing right now? And I mean, this is the defending national champions coming into town this weekend.
Well, I can tell you that's probably for sure, because I remember back when I played, Coach Norm DeBryan for Arkansas would always wonder what Cliff Gustafson in Texas was doing.
Sure.
That was the big rival for Arkansas back in the old Southwest Conference days. So, yeah, that keeps you up at night when your competitor is making some great moves.
Milam, the second baseman, takes a big wave and a miss. And I said to Jay today, it's going to be a shame when these teams don't play every single year, and I think he's fine with it.
He just goes, don't show me a pig on the schedule, and I'm fine with it.
Arkansas doing some late shifting with Sprague Lott now to the right side of second base with 2 strikes on Milam. And the pitch from Tigert, blooped out towards right. It'll carry just a bit. The ball's carrying a little bit differently than last night, but Dix makes the catch. Tigers go in order. Inning and a half complete in the series finale. It's a 1-1 game. One game as we go to the bottom of the second. LSU leads this all-time series by a wide margin. Again, last year 2-2. LSU won the series in Baton Rouge. Hogs took the 1 game in the tournament, but Troy, Arkansas is picking up some wins, 7 of 8 at home since 2019, and 11-4 overall in the last 15 games against LSU.
Yeah, they've had a lot of luck against the Tigers, but you can see that overall the Tigers have had the Hogs' number.
I think they've had a lot of teams' numbers, but Arkansas going for the sweep. Here is Jared Sprague-Lott. Jared 1 for 7 this weekend. Philadelphia native, a little bit out of place here in the SEC, but having a good time. You see his overall numbers. Now, he's hit 185 in conference games. He's hit 381 in games against teams outside the SEC.
Yeah, it's just a different level, and the game's gonna kind of start slowing down for Sprague-Lott, but it comes at a different speed with these SEC quality arms for sure.
It was interesting, though, that he said he faced Luke Holman last year when Richmond played Alabama, but they're both Philadelphia area products. I thought maybe they had met in high school or showcase games or whatnot. If so, they don't remember it. 3-1 the count to Sprague-Lott. Getting more and more opportunities at third base, and he hammers that one dangerously into a well-populated section down the line, and the fan got up shaking his left hand. I hope that means that it just missed him. Everybody seems to be okay, I hope. Either that or there's another raccoon scurrying through the stands.
Well, he protected someone, but he took that one for the team with the hand.
We were wondering when these fans might show up. I think the answer is now. Holiday weekend, bizarre series where you start game 3 on a Saturday and do so in the afternoon. Most teams will be off tomorrow. Tell you what, though, the Hog Pen was jam-packed right out of the gates. That was not a question of whether or not those fans were showing up. They were lined up early, and find me some open real estate out there in the pen.
Yeah, when you can really start seeing people up on those metal bleachers, and you know it's really crowded. That's a good at-bat by Jared Sprague-Lott. Kept fouling off several pitches, I think 3, and drew the walk.
17th walk Arkansas hitters have accepted against LSU pitching this weekend. And I'm with you, the Hog Pen, when fans are sitting in those old bleachers the DVH doesn't care for, you know that it's jam-packed. There they are, Troy. That's not the most comfortable seat in the stadium.
Yeah, that's like old high school stadium seating.
Will Edmondson will bat. Homer and 8 knocked in. Edmondson had his first Razorback home run Tuesday against Little Rock on a 41-degree afternoon. Weather a little bit late and cooperating in these last couple of weeks, but at least the wind has died down. That was really a lot to handle last couple of nights. Does feel like the ball's got some carry, though, today, not just because of the lack of wind beating them down, but maybe that humidity today. We've seen some balls hit pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. And even like the ball that Milam hit, and he was really kind of out in front, and it carried almost to the track. So that tells you a lot about what the ball's going to do today. There's going to be some balls flying out of the yard for sure.
Sprague-Lott at first, nobody out. Off and running is Sprague-Lott. He kind of spun his wheels, I thought, for a second, and that one's fouled away. I'm not sure if he was just trying to get some acceleration moving, and he didn't quite slip, but had that ball been swung through by Edmondson. There might have been a play at second base. Brady Neal. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jumps next pitch a little bit in. The unique part about this weekend for LSU, no Thatcher Hurd. He was moved out of the rotation. Now, he did pitch yesterday. Gave up the hit and the run, but threw only 14 pitches. So, Troy, I would not be surprised at all if we don't see Thatcher Hurd again today.
Yeah, he's got some really, really good stuff. And so that's an arm that I think Jay Johnson wants to get to, just in his experience as well, too. Just being able to handle this environment.
Of course, you use him out of the pen for some impactful moments, and then when it doesn't take very long, you've warmed him up, you brought him into the game, and he hasn't thrown a ton of pitches. Yet it would mean pitching in back-to-back days or getting ready for a guy who had been a starter. But I do think we will see him if needed. And you never know what you're going to get in these series finales. Some higher scoring games or whatnot.
I think it's the all hands on deck is the mentality for both teams.
3-2 to Edmondson. Will Sprague Lott run? Jump was wondering the same thing. That was a low toss over to Jones at first, and that's a big man. It's hard to miss Jones at first.
I don't know if you call him a man or a wall. One of the two. I think either fits.
Brian Kelly might want to entice him
I'm telling you.
Play a little bit of football in the fall. See if Sprague Lott is going. He is not. And the 3-2 pitch is grounded to short. Braswell with another nice play, and he throws to second base, but safe. Sprague Lott able to get there to beat the throw from Braswell, who made another fantastic defensive effort. It just doesn't result in an out.
Now watch the range of Braswell right here. This ball probably should get through on most shortstops. He does all he can do, but just a tick too late to get Sprague Lott.
So Edmondson with the base hit. Mound visit for LSU. Keep in mind, Troy, we talk about LSU winning the national championship last year. Remember, Wes Johnson was their pitching coach, former Arkansas pitching coach, now head man at Georgia. So they have had 3 different pitching coaches in 3 years, and the 2 previous have left for head coaching jobs.
Yeah, that's it says a lot about who Jay Johnson's bringing in. I mean, just the top quality coaches, and that's always the risk when you bring in the best.
Jason Kelly, head man at Washington, and Wes now at Georgia. And speaking of Georgia, how about what they did yesterday to Tennessee in Knoxville?
They just took it to him.
16-2 win in 7 innings, and Georgia, who leads the country at home runs, hit 4 more yesterday, 78 home runs. Now, Arkansas has 35 and Georgia's got 78. That seems strange,
doesn't it? It's just a different level of power there at Georgia. See what Ryder Helfrich, the freshman, does in this situation.
Helfrich has 22 at-bats on the year, one of 3 Arkansas catchers active on the roster this week. Parker Rowland is the odd man out, so with Hudson White starting the last couple of games and DHing today, thought a pretty good chance that we would see Helfrich, and here he is, batting with a couple of guys on base. And no, he's not up there to bunt, and he hammers one high and foul down the line in right. But Pearson, does he have room? He just about made a sliding catch on the track. That's always a rough skidding stop over near that side wall on the warning track, but Troy, he just about had a play.
Yeah, that was a great effort by Pearson. You see what it did, how tore a big hole in his pants. You can see how hard that track is. And this is how you have to go in. You have to go in there feet first, because you can't risk, trying to put your arm out and break an arm or wrist on that situation.
So he lost some of his pants. He got some dust in his eye and maybe some rocks.
And no baseball.
That's no baseball.
That's a tough play right there.
Helfrich had the big home run at Auburn last weekend and hits a mile-high fly ball here to Pearson. He doesn't have to contend with any rocks. He will make the catch. Sprague Lott is going to tag. This throw is a good one, but it skips by White. And Sprague Lott is safe. That throw beat him a little bit to the left of Tommy White, and a really nice job by Gage Jump to back up that play, or it might have resulted in a run.
Well, and that's a great throw, first of all, by Pearson, just a tick off. And this is what Tommy White has to do. To try to get that out, he's going to have to pick it and tag it the same motion. But the deal is, if the pitcher's not backing up, Tommy White can't make that attempt to try to make that slap tag.
No, it's a good point as well. Gives you a little more leeway to try and go out and make a play. This is Wilmsmeyer, who's had 3 hits in this series. And he's raised his batting average 38 points in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's really making some contact. This is going to be a really hard guy for LSU to try to double up on a ground ball.
Good stop by Neal to smother that baseball.
Tommy White is about even with the bag over at third base. Wilmsmeyer always potential to drop a bunt down.
1 out in the inning. Arkansas trying to take their first lead. Ground ball up the middle. Braswell races to second base. On to first, double play. Right at Braswell, so even the speedy Wilmsmeyer could not beat it out to give Arkansas a run in the lead. So we stayed tied at 1.
Question. What would you get with almost $750?
Easy. I'd buy a smartwatch like that guy.
Makes sense. Use that GPS for your poor sense of direction.
Excuse me? My grandfather was a homing pigeon. My internal compass is genetic.
Must have skipped a generation.
I'm a walking GPS.
Okay. Which way is north? Okay, that's up, not north.
I should get the watch.
Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds to spend on whatever you dream up.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school.
What?
But the good news is, Xfinity Mobile just got even better. Now, you can automatically connect to Wi-Fi speeds up to 1 gig on the go. Plus, buy 1 unlimited line and get 1 free for a year.
I gotta get this deal.
That's like $20 a month per unlimited line. I don't want to miss that.
That's amazing.
Mobile savings are calling. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more.
Shaping up to be a fun ball game. Usually is when these two teams get together. 1-1 as we head to the 3rd inning. Troy Braswell made that catch of that pop-up back to end the first. Made a nice stop on what was a base hit from Edmondson and was placed perfectly to get that double play on Wilmsmeyer.
Yeah, that was an amazing thing, and that is Mark Wanaka for LSU doing that positioning, and Coach Johnson said he does a fabulous job of moving guys around, trying to get them in the right spots.
Well, I think these two teams do as good of a job of that as anybody, and Braswell, the former Gamecock, gets hit by a pitch, and that's something that Tiger has done way too often, but usually his HBPs have been on curveballs. That time he got him with the fastball.
Yeah, this one just completely got away arm side, and again, not what you want to do is to hit that first batter and give a free base runner. Braswell will take that every day of the week.
That is 10 HBPs for Brady. Here's another Brady, Brady Neal, the catcher, batting 9th. He made a couple of fine defensive plays, led off this inning, got hit by a pitch, did Braswell. Now Neal batting in front of Tommy White, who homered to begin this game. But Brady Neal, he was drafted a couple of years ago, 17th round in 2022 by the Brewers. He was the starting catcher early last year, but then had a back injury that sidelined him from April 8th through the remainder of the year. So it really does stink to have an injury. Really hurts you mentally to miss time, and then to watch your team go on and win a national championship and be there kind of in spirit.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
That's not fun.
Yeah, just a really good quality player. Just one of those guys that has professional at-bats. You know, just really spoils good pitches. He's going to make contact.
And that's another area where these two programs are similar. Arkansas has 4 catchers, which is about 2 too many. LSU has 3 catchers, which is about 1 too many.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out how to get these guys some playing time. Use others as DHs, like Travinsky today, or Hudson White for Arkansas. 3-1 the count. Ground ball to right for a base hit. So the 8 and 9 hitters will reach in front of Tommy White, who's already homered today, and that's not the way Tiger has drawn up this inning. Because when Tommy Tanks came up in the first inning, Troy, this is career home run number 60. He had 27 as a freshman for NC State, or I should say 24 at NC State. Last year, 27, and 9 this season.
Yeah, he just has tremendous power, and I think he's just incredibly strong, but he has some really good bat speed and bat whip. It almost looks like he's out there just hitting with a lightsaber instead of an aluminum or composite bat.
The 21st century home run record in college baseball is 74 by Matt Laporta with Florida. Laporta did it in 4 years and had a huge final season. It's amazing what Tommy White has done. And, of course, in that leadoff spot, you're always wondering, will you lose out on some RBI opportunities? Well, here he comes in the second inning, batting with a couple of guys on base.
Hitting leadoff right here is looking pretty good for Jay Johnson with a couple ducks on the pond.
Two of the biggest swings last year in Omaha came courtesy of Tommy White. Hit a walk-off 2-run homer in the bottom of the 11th against Wake Forest to send the Tigers to the College World Series Finals. The second came in Game 1 of the World Series Finals against Florida. White hit a game-tying homer in the top of the 8th inning. He is a slow heartbeat type guy. Would he dare swing 3-0? Brady thought so. He threw the curve.
Now this is an interesting take, because what do you come back with? Do you try to come back with the breaking ball away?
I might throw it again. Here's the pitch. He did. Ground ball to short. Could be two. Aloy to Stovall on to first. McLaughlin has to apply the tag, and the Razorbacks get a double play of their own. And Tommy White has hit into probably too many of those this year. And that's a big sequence for Brady Tigers.
Well, he hits the ball so hard. I mean, that's 97 off the bat. And you can see that Stovall almost kind of airmailed that one just a little bit. That's a great job by McLaughlin coming off the bag. But again, that's a huge double play ground ball for Arkansas. Kind of lets them possibly exhale just a tick.
7th time this year that he's grounded into a double play. So each team has seen a big double play turned against them. This is Larson, who struck out back in the first.
I mean, so far offensively, it's almost like a mirror. Solo home runs, big double plays turned against him. It's like a little deja vu.
Troy, this has been the number that's been a bugaboo this weekend for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think so. And that's, you know, it's going to get corrected, but they would love to make something happen right here and change that number just a little bit.
Quite honestly, Arkansas's pitchers all year have done a pretty good job. When you try and wonder why Arkansas is ranked number 1 in the country, what their pitchers have done, in addition to being really good, is take base runners and leave them there. Well, the Hogs have capitalized usually on one big inning offensively to make the most out of a handful of hits and some walks. Can Brady do it again? He gets a curve, and that one's tapped foul.
Well, I think that these experienced pitchers you're talking about, Smith, Tigert, and Molina, especially from the starting rotation for Arkansas, it's like they just go into a different mindset with those runners on base. And it's like, you're not going to get a hit. You're not going to beat me right here.
High fly to right field. This ball starts to carry off the bat of Larson. Diggs is back there nearing the wall, leaping high, and that is gone. How about the home run from Larson? I thought Diggs might have a chance to jump up and make the grab, but instead it's a 2-run homer for the Tigers, and they're back in front. I think Kendall checking that hand. Troy, if he's able to get to the fence, does he have a chance to bring this one back or not?
That's really tough. That ball is an absolute moonshot. You can see Kendall kind of landed on that wrist a little funny. And again, the difference is the lack of wind today. Yesterday, that ball would have been 15 feet from the wall.
And Jones takes the big swing and a miss. Well, Larson's a good one. This kid was drafted in the 20th round last year. But how about his first college home run comes at Baum-Walker Stadium?
Well, how big was that double play for Arkansas? That could really be a big crooked number in this inning.
One ball, 2 strikes. Jones a strikeout victim back in the first inning. All of our runs have come on the long ball today.
Cody Frank right-hander warming up for Arkansas.
And the 1-2.
Going to talk a little bit earlier about Jones and his command of the strike zone with 2 strikes right there. Just didn't even flinch at that breaking ball out of the zone.
I'd like to know how many curves that Tiger has thrown, what the percentage is. Threw another one there. This one, an easier play for Diggs, and the catch is made to end the inning. But a 2-run homer from Larson puts LSU in front 3-1. We'll talk to Jay Johnson of the Tigers when you come back to Baum Walker. LSU leads 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the third. Jay Johnson joins us. Jay, when we visited earlier, I didn't ask you about Tommy White leading off, but now I want to ask you about Larson. You threw him in there in the 2-hole, and the Kansas City kid gets his first home run at Baum Walker Stadium. That gave that dugout a boost, I have a feeling.
Yeah, big time. I mean, we were up in a spot where we want to be with as many guys on base. When Tommy comes up to bat, he hit it hard, hit into a double play, and it was good for Ashton to pick us up. He's a good young player. He's been starting to have good at-bats, and that's what we need more of, is good at-bats and get some of these left-handed hitters in there.
Coach, talk a little bit about what you've seen out of Gage Jump.
Yeah, he's one of our best guys, no question about it. He's got a great fastball. He's worked away through a little bit of command issues here in the first couple. We got to get the leadoff guy out because these guys get rolling. They're pretty good.
Hey, Jay, thanks for the time.
All right, thank you.
Indeed. Here's Peyton Stovall. Struck out in the first against Jump. And you heard him say with Tommy White, you just want to get him up there with guys on base. And then he hits into the double play, and you feel like that's an inning killer. And then Larson, the freshman, hits a 2-run homer. Big boost for the Tigers. That one's popped up. Neal back for a look, but it's up on top of the roof above us.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point about Larson and that big swing. But that's where your teammates are going to have to pick you up. I mean, Tommy White's going to do Tommy White things all season long, and which are just going to be incredible. But you know, there's going to be times that you hit a ball right at somebody like he did. Hit it on the screws.
Stovall. Soft pop up towards White, and he'll cross into foul territory and make the catch. So Stovall, who was 9 for his last 21, is 0 for 2 in this game. But Arkansas got a homer in the first from Vahiva Loy, and this was 112 off the bat.
Yeah, it just was a low screamer, and again, he just continues to swing the hot bat and lay off those pitches outside the zone.
So he's hit in 9 straight games. He has reached base safely in 16 straight. And that bat, we were looking at that bat earlier. I've been studying that for weeks. He's got a dragon on his bat, and we'll get a good look at it here. It matches the tattoo on his arm.
Yeah,
I mean, that's almost scary.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It's as scary looking as it has been for opposing pitchers with the damage he has done with it in recent weeks.
You can see both the arm and the bat right there.
We got them both.
Pretty slick.
There's a chopper to third. That is a fair ball fielded by White. His throw across to Jones in time to retire the Dragon. Vahiva Loy on the second out of the inning. And 2 gone for Ben McLaughlin.
This just feels like one of those games that it may take a half a dozen to win this ball game. There's going to be some more scoring in this game. No offense to the pitchers, but I think with the way the ball's carrying out of the park.
It's interesting, though, because the first 2 games of the series, it felt like you were going to have to manufacture runs, hit a ball in the gap, get a couple of guys on, get a double to the fence. Home runs were really tough to come by unless you hit it in exactly the right spot to left or kept it below the wind to right. And then today, you can backspin some balls that don't look like they're close, and they're going to carry out.
Yeah, I think so. We've seen a few balls that weren't squared up or hitter is out on his front. Milam was really kind of flicked that one out to right field, and it carried out to the track. So yeah, that ball is really flying, and it's going to go way out to left center.
The 2-1 is fouled right back to the screen. Next pitch, fouled right back. A couple of hogs struck out in the first. Nobody has K'd against Jump since, but no damage has been done outside of that Aloy homer. Hogs had runners at first and second. Nobody out last inning, did not score. And another one, fouled right back to the screen.
And just a really good job by Gage Jumpus, really working that inner third of the plate. 94 consistently, and that is really tough for a hitter to get his hands out in front. I think there's going to be a slider at some point of this at-bat.
Down and out.
There it was right there. Yeah, that was a tough one to take.
Here comes the payoff pitch from the lefty to the lefty, and that's right down the middle for strike 3. Hawks go in order. We'll talk to Coach Van Horn when we come back. 3-1 LSU in front. We go to the bottom of the third at Baum-Walker. Dave Van Horn joins us. Dave, it's really hard to win series in this league. I don't have to tell you that. When your team wins the first 2 games, what's your message to your guys about getting greedy and trying to win 3 after you've already taken the series?
Well, just keep the same mindset, that you had the first 2 games, and be aggressive and don't be satisfied. It's hard to beat anybody, like you said, 3 times in a row, especially teams as good as LSU.
Hey, Dave, what are you seeing out of Brady Tigert so far?
The fastball is he's got to command it a little bit better, obviously. The breaking ball seems to be under control. He can put it, throw it wherever he wants, just about whenever he wants. But it's the fastball. He's got to command it. And that's been a little bit of an issue the last week or 2.
Yeah, the ball's jumping today as well, isn't it?
The ball's flying, even though the wind's lightly blowing in from right, then it'll stop. But it feels different out here today, and the ball is definitely flying.
Sure does. Dave, thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you, guys.
And Josh Pearson will bat after Travinsky grounded out, so I know Tigert happy to get a big hitter out on a soft ground ball to start an inning.
Yeah, that's really nice way to start. And I think Brady Tigert's one of those guys that you, even after the 3 runs given up, can really go out there and throw you several more zeros on the board.
Pearson lined a rather deep left his only time in. The West Monroe, Louisiana native. Played a lot of games last year. Had a 2-run homer against Florida in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals. Got a feeling with LSU's fan base, they will never forget that when you have big moments in big games. For a team that won its 7th national title. Arkansas chasing that elusive first, and really that's the last thing left for DVH in this program in Arkansas, just winning that natty. And I think what I'm seeing, Troy, in NCAA basketball, it just shows you how important it is to get hot at the right time more than a body of work. Because Arkansas was the best team over 10 weekends last year in the conference. And there's a fly ball to Edmondson, and he'll put it away for the second out. If you would have told basketball fans a couple of weeks ago that NC State would be an Elite 8,
right,
so you would have said, no, there's no chance.
Exactly. And that's what DVH has been able to do most seasons, is just get that team hot at the right time. And it's just so hard to get to Omaha. I mean, people just don't realize it. And, baseball is such a tricky sport.
This is Bingham, former Arizona Wildcat, who would like to have an opportunity to go as a Cat and a Tiger. 4 years at Arizona. Drafted by the Cubs way back in 2019 out of Torrey Pines High School. I think I'd like to go to Torrey Pines High School.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad.
Wouldn't be too bad at all. I think there was some shock that he wasn't drafted last year, but here he is reunited with Jay Johnson, playing in the SEC. Bounced out to second his only time in. I'll say this, though, to finish our conversation on the College World Series. The folks that run establishments in Omaha are really happy when LSU or Arkansas or both are in Omaha for a long time.
Yeah, I think so. I think they do quite well.
Their absence is missed when either or both of these teams are not at the College World Series. 3-1 to Bingham. Outfield straight away. And Tiger trying to find that fastball command, and that one is chopped foul.
So thinking about Bingham, they was asking a question like, how do you like hitting at the box instead of at Arizona? How about these dimensions? I'll tell you after this hit if he fouls another one off.
I think I know where you're going. Spent a lot of time at High Corbett. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled back.
He lets me finish my story. How about 366 to left field, 410 to left center, 392 to center field, 405 to right center, 349 to right field. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That's a graveyard.
That's why Willie Mays Hayes had to stop and do push-ups at High Corbett whenever he hit a ball in the air. But you hit a ball to left center field, it feels like it's 340 instead of 380. That ball's tagged to left and hit well. This ball's going to carry above the bullpen and gone. Mac Bingham homers. 3 long balls providing 4 runs for the Tigers today, and LSU has taken a lead of 3. And there was no question if that ball was going to carry beyond the fence. It was just a matter of how far and if he could keep it fair.
How about 414 on the distance, 102 exit velocity for Mac Bingham. And again, he hit this one, and it was a no-doubter. A center-cut fastball. I mean, could not have split the plate. Belt high.
Well, that would have gotten out of High Corbett as well. He knew it. And LSU has hit 3 long balls today, and there's a pitch at the knees for a strike to Milam. Milam, another one of these youngsters, New Mexico kid, Gatorade Player of the Year last season, hit .627.
Wow.
In high school baseball. And I think he was recruited heavily by Arkansas as well, but you think about a New Mexico kid wanting to go to LSU. I mean, if it sounds familiar, a guy by the name of Alex Bregman did the same thing.
Yeah.
It worked out okay for him.
Yeah, that's pretty good footsteps to follow.
Tiger trying to win this inning. Fly ball that'll have Wilmsmeyer sprinting in and to his right. He will make the catch to end the inning, but Mac Bingham adds another run to the LSU lead. 4-1 Tigers. Arkansas has some work to do.
See, Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare home insurance options so you can get what you need without overpaying.
Yeah, we spent a lot on this kitchen.
Oh, yeah, really high-end stuff.
Sorry, that's our ghost.
Yeah, okay.
It's more annoying than anything.
Too bad there's mold behind the backsplash. Yep, there's mold.
Well then, let's see if we can save you some money with Progressive.
Guess how much I originally paid for this fireplace? $23. Materials and labor.
Just ignore him.
You got bamboozled.
And we're back. The team is looking down the barrel of a 4:55 meeting.
Can they turn it around and make this meeting an email?
Jones is taking the ball and running with it. She's asking Grammarly to write the first draft of an email.
What a play. Grammarly is an AI writing partner that helps you make your point.
She's got a clear shot and it's good.
Bazinga!
It's a slam dunk. The meeting's canceled. They'll go home champions.
Download Grammarly for free.
Well, if Arkansas is to win for the 17th straight time here at Baum Walker, they're going to have to come from behind. 4-1 LSU. As the Hogs bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. White, Diggs, and Sprague Lott against Gage Jump. The lefty who gave up a homer to Aloy in the first. That's it. White had a single back in the first inning. He was stranded there after winning the game yesterday. Troy, you go back and look on March the 1st. I was curious what Hudson White's batting average was. It was at 194. With that base hit in the first inning, he's jumped it up to 279 in the matter of, about 20-some days. So it's been a big, important month for White, probably none more so than last night.
Yeah, I think he's really getting a lot more comfortable at the plate. And again, I think especially the transfers really feel a lot of pressure, or sometimes kids put pressure on themselves to really try to come up and have some big-time numbers.
Chop it a short. Braswell, the third, has been busy. Makes that play, retires White to begin the 4th inning. That's 6 in a row that have been set down by Jump, and he's recorded 7 outs in that stretch.
Yeah, he's really settling in nicely. Gave up that big fly to Vahiva Aloy, and after that, I think just a walk is his only blemish.
And Diggs popped to short on a really nice play by Braswell with his back to the infield, running out towards Bingham to end that inning. Think about Kendall Diggs the other night with a 3-run home. Of his 21 career homers, 13 have come with runners on base. 7 have accounted for 3 runs, 3-run homers, and a couple of career grand slams. So he has been sort of the master of the big home run in a year in which Arkansas has 4 grand slams, in which clutch hitting has sort of been the number one storyline, I think, offensively, because going into the game on Tuesday night against Little Rock, Arkansas did not have a single hitter. Nice bending effort by Diggs to lean back. Arkansas did not have a single hitter in any of the offensive categories, batting average, home runs, RBIs, and yet they were the #1 team in the nation, and they will be next week as well. And that pitch a little bit outside.
Yeah, is that blood on Kendall Diggs' pant leg from that time he jumped into the fence out there?
I hope not. I hope it kind of looks like blood the way it's splattered, doesn't it? More so than just dirt or filth. He tumbled on the warning track. Here's another pop-up, and Braswell catching everything today. 2 outs. Hope for Kendall that's not, but he took quite a spill trying to catch that home run from Larson in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, you wonder if he caught his hand on something up
might
above
be
that
it, right?
padding or
That's a
something.
good point. That
there,
might be the
something
hand
metal.
on that chain link rather than just landing. 7 in a row set down by Jump, and this is Sprague Lott, who walked back in the 2nd, was stranded at 3rd base.
I'd say the thing I've seen out of Gage Jump is just keeping the baseball out of the middle part of the plate.
I think that's a key. And, going back and just tying a bow on my thought process this inning, Troy, Arkansas hasn't had an individual anywhere near the top in any leaderboard, in any category, and yet a win today would make them 23-3. So it's been taking walks. It's been taking advantage of big innings. And maybe that clutch hitting gene. I mean, Chris Curry was telling us the other day about how he feels like Arkansas is just a clutch hitting team. Well, it might take a little different formula today as Sprague Lott takes a strike, but for me, it's been a different formula offensively.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely not the home run hitting team that we've seen in years past for Arkansas. And you're right, they're trying to capitalize on those free base runners. I think the big key for this team is just their ability to take the walk and allow the next man up to pick them up and get some big hits and drive in some runs.
And then you win the close games and whatnot. Arkansas has had more runs than hits, it feels like, in a ton of their games this year. So taking advantage of walks is important, and then taking advantage of one big inning has also been important. Now, Jump has not issued many free passes. That's just his 2nd, and it comes with 2 outs. But I think if I'm pitching against the Razorbacks, I certainly don't want to put guys on base, but I also don't want one inning to crush me. I want them to try and beat me throughout several innings and not just have a 6 or a 7 run inning to do a lot of the damage, but that is where they have really been successful. Edmondson had an infield base hit in the 2nd. He'll get a base hit into right here in the 4th. Couple of 2-out base runners by the Razorbacks. They'll bring the tying run to the plate in the presence of Ryder Helfrich.
Yeah, here's one of those opportunities you talked about with a walk and a base hit. You've got a guy in Ryder Helfrich that's got tremendous power, and it's going to see how's Gage Jump if he can make some really quality pitches against the freshman and try to get out of this, or one swing of the bat and Arkansas could tie this game up. I think that's why Brady Neal's going to go out there and talk to him just a bit.
A couple of Californians ready to battle here between Helfrich and Gage Jump. Keep in mind that home run that Helfrich hit over the monster in left field at Auburn helped Arkansas win. It was the game, I believe, where Dave Van Horn wasn't there. He was watching it in the hospital on a fire stick and whatnot.
I think he had like 4 or 5 different devices going. I think Dave had a little bit of argument about how far that baseball went. I think they said 400 feet. I think that was maybe about 50 feet short.
He said 500.
Yeah, it sure looked like it.
Big batter early in this game for Arkansas. And a good pitch for strike 1. Helfrich flew out to right field in his only at bat. Just torched one, but onto the concourse, and I hope everybody's okay. That went over the seats, but below the suites at 108 off his bat.
Yeah, those were back-to-back changeups by Gage Jump, and you could see how far out in front Ryder Helfrich is. Now, Jump is really in the driver's seat right here.
0-2, ripped into left. That's a base hit. Did he hit it too hard? Sprague Lott will be held at third base, and the answer is yes. hit that ball so hard at 107 that Arkansas could not score. Sprague-Lott from second base, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, he came back with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and I think that was just an 0-2 mistake, and that's going to bring a visit to the mound from the LSU dugout. 2 strikes, and Ryder Helfrich just hit an absolute bullet, and I think that's the right call by Nate Thompson, third base coach. You just can't send Sprague-Lott there because Sprague-Lott was about 10 feet away from third base when the left fielder Larson fielded that baseball. And anytime the outfielder gets to that baseball before that runner hits third base, they've got a good shot to throw that runner out the plate. And again, you're also down 3 runs as well.
I would agree with all of that, and it was the right call. I think sometimes with the 9-hole hitter coming up, you might be more willing to try and push it and risk it, but that ball was so hardly hit, as that man kind of threw me off my thought process right there. It was hit so hard to Larson that it would have been a death wish to try and score him from second base.
Now, if you had like a Wilmsmeyer out there running, then you send him. No offense to Sprague-Lott, but nobody on the team has the speed of Wilmsmeyer. Now you need a big hit if you're an Arkansas fan to try to scratch back.
Wilmsmeyer bounced into a double play to end last inning, grounds one into left. That's a base hit. Sprague-Lott will score. Edmondson heading to the plate. The throw's on line, but late to score on the single by Wilmsmeyer. It's a 4-3 game. And Wilmsmeyer had a chance to do some damage in the second and was unable to do so. He wasted little time here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it's a great job by Ty Wilmsmeyer. He got a changeup right there, and I think he learned off of what happened with Ryder Helfrich, back-to-back changeups to lead off to Ryder Helfrich. He gets first pitch changeup at 80 miles an hour, hammers that ball through the hole, and what a big decision by Nate Thompson to hold the runner on the plate before Sprague-Lott, and now he waves and scores 2.
And it brings up Stovall, who's 0 for 2. You know he'd love to come through against his home state team, and he does with a base hit into right field. Helfrich around third will score to tie the game, and the throw comes in. Runners on the corners. Stovall with the RBI. A 4-4 contest. Jones was way over near the line at first. That ball wasn't hit that far to what would have been a normal first base position.
Well, Dave Van Horn talks about how hard it is in the SEC to have more hits in an inning, 3 or 4 hits in a row. Arkansas gets 4 hits right there, and again, yeah, that's just kind of a seeing eye single right there by Peyton Stovall, but you can see Jump is not happy to be taken out of this ball game right here.
Well, he retired the first 2 that he faced this inning. Looked like he was cruising with a 4-1 lead. Macho Man, though, watched the Razorbacks score 3. Pitching change break, and Bob Walker will step aside and come back with the new LSU pitcher right after this.
Question: what would you get with almost $750?
Easy. I'd buy a smartwatch like that guy.
Makes sense. Use that GPS for your poor sense of direction.
Excuse me? My grandfather was a homing pigeon. My internal compass is genetic.
Must have skipped a generation.
I'm a walking GPS.
Okay. Which way is north? Okay, that's up, not north.
I should get the watch.
Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds to spend on whatever you dream up.
And we're back. The team is looking down the barrel of a 4:55 meeting.
Can they turn it around and make this meeting an email?
Jones is taking the ball and running with it. She's asking Grammarly to write the first draft of an email.
What a play. Grammarly is an AI writing partner that helps you make your point.
She's got a clear shot and it's good.
Bazinga!
It's a slam dunk. The meeting's canceled. They'll go home champions.
Download Grammarly for free.
SEC softball, Monday. Number 20 Arkansas heads to Athens to battle the home run heroes of number 3 Georgia. SEC softball, Monday on SEC Network.
Yeah, Arkansas won game 1 of that 3-game wraparound series today. They had to sweat it out with a 3-0 lead. They took down number 3 Georgia on the road. Morgan Langstock with the CG, and Reagan Johnson 3 more base hits, including a run. So big win for the Hogs today. And tell you what, this game has been tight as well. Tied at 4. LSU has gone to the bullpen, and they bring on a lefty, Nate Ackenhausen.
Yeah, the senior left-hander, tons of experience, and that's what they're going to lean on right here.
This is Aloy, hit a homer back in the first, also has bounced to third base.
Eckenhausen, he'll be like 90 to 93 with that fastball, that 3/4 release. That fastball's got some carry to it as well, Brett.
Arkansas has done all of this with 2 outs this inning. A walk and 3 singles.
Was it 3 or 4 singles? It's 4.
4 singles and 1 walk.
Yeah.
And pitches down and out. You know, we're talking about watching some of the changeups from Gage jump. Kendall Diggs said to the reporters after the game on Thursday that he watched how the previous batter was pitched and the exact same sequencing took place. He was expecting a fastball. He got a fastball and homer. Bouncer here to White at third base, and he will make the play to retire Vahiva Aloy in the inning. Arkansas will strand a couple of runners, but they do score 3. Brand new game, tied at 4 through 4 at Palm Walker. Here's the line for Brady Tiger today, and Troy, help me make sense of this. He's really dealt with walks, 9 in his last 2 starts, none today. He's been in the zone a lot more. In fact, coming into action here this afternoon, 55% of his pitches in SEC play had been strikes. So that means a lot out of the zone. Today, 62 pitches, 40 strikes. He's been in the zone more, but LSU's made him pay with 3 homers, too.
Yeah. Oh, we had a proposal out there in between
innings. Did you say yes or no? I mean, with a ring pop?
With a ring pop.
Well, that's the economical way to do it. Did she say yes, or did I mean? I might have to counsel them and tell them to wait. Nonetheless, Braswell the third swings and misses. Back to my question.
Yeah, I think that Brady Taggart, he's been able to spin that breaking ball in, and I think that's where he's getting his strikes from. The command on the fastball is still not quite there, and again, it's one of the pitches that he gave up the home run, especially the really long one that Bingham hit, was a fastball right down the chute, belt high. It was literally sitting on a tee, and that is not Brady Taggart-like.
You know, what makes Brady Brady is his ability to throw 3 or 4 pitches for strikes. I thought we might see a few more changeups or sliders today. 2-strike pitch, and that's almost a waste fastball, maybe to come back with a breaking ball. Are you surprised by the volume of curves, even though he's fought that fastball command?
Yeah, a little bit, and again, just like you said, I'm a little surprised that he hasn't dipped into that slider or the changeup to lefties.
I mean, I guess you feel like if you throw a good curve, they're not going to hit it. My thought process is if you don't throw a really good curve and you just keep throwing the same pitch, that the hitters will eventually kind of anticipate, but maybe Brady's spin and his break is comforting, but I thought we might see something to get him off that curveball that's not a fastball.
Well, then the thing for Brady Taggart is he's just a guy that's going to go out there and battle. And the last 2 weekends, he really hasn't had his best stuff because his best stuff's almost literally unhittable. But he keeps the team in the game just because he's that talented.
Count has gone full to Braswell the third, who was hit by a pitch back in the second. And the payoff is poked into right for a base hit. So Tigers have their leadoff runner on base for the 3rd time in this game. You know, the other thought process on Tiger, and this was courtesy of Matt Hobbs when he was quoted in a few articles in the paper in recent days. He said Brady's kind of spinning off that ball a bit, but also he added not staying through the ball as well. And I don't know if that means getting on the side. Does that mean mechanically something a little different to you?
I think, you know, you almost kind of think of it like an outfielder throwing the ball out. You have to kind of drive through it to get that carry, to have that ball carry all the way into the infield. I think it's kind of the same thing on the mound. If you're not getting through it, you're kind of getting maybe on the side of that baseball just a tick.
Okay, then my follow-up question to that is, I would imagine for that curve and that break, you kind of get a little bit off to the side. Does that mean that your fastball, if it's thrown in that same spot, might not have that true drive to the plate?
Yeah, and I don't think he's getting quite the carry on that fastball that he has in the past.
You could see where your strengths could be your weaknesses. If a certain arm rotation or release point gives you a benefit on the breaking ball, maybe it doesn't work for the curve.
Yeah, I think so.
Or vice versa.
I think DVH is going to go to the pen. Arkansas's got Cody Frank in there, and he's a guy that has a huge sweeping breaking ball, and he's going to fill up the strike zone.
So that will do it for Brady Tigert. Maybe a little shorter than he would have hoped today. He is departing after 68 pitches. Hawks go to the bullpen, tied at 4 in the 5th. Arkansas has gone to their bullpen, and Troy, I would say this is where they have seen some pitchers really put up some eye-popping numbers, not just in this series, but maybe this entire year.
Yeah, I think so. They've got some great arms led by Will McIntyre. Gabe Gackle kind of feels like he's got that closer position locked down. Stone Hewlett, the lefty specialist, and they've got some special guys out of the pen, and they're going to go to Cody Frank right here, the senior transfer from Nebraska. And Frank is a guy that's just going to fill up the strike zone. Throws a lot of strikes, big sweeping breaking ball that kind of has a lot of horizontal break to it. But the fastball he can turn over as well and tie some ground balls.
See the numbers for Cody Frank. I would say for me, going forward for Arkansas, when a team is 22-3 and when they're number 1 in the nation, you almost feel like you nitpick and you look for a few things that maybe you want to concern yourself with. If you're a coach, maybe you're a diehard fan, whatever it is. I think Brady's a little bit frustrated, and I don't blame him. But back to the bullpen, Troy, I think it is finding guys that you can throw twice in a weekend, to me, is still a little bit undecided because Gackle has always been a starter. You heat him up, and do you want to throw him on a Friday and a Sunday or a Thursday and a Saturday, or do you really want to blow him out for one time and not risk it a second time?
Well, the thing about Gackle is Gackle threw about 40 pitches in the bullpen on Friday night when Will McIntyre was kind of flirting with disaster a little bit. So he almost threw like a couple innings just in the bullpen. So he's almost technically thrown twice this weekend.
You're right. Brady Neal waves and misses. Over the top of that pitch, Neal singled his only time in. See his numbers on the year. A few more left-handed bats in the lineup today for LSU. Pitch is on the corner for a strike. Came back with a fastball there.
How many changeups have we seen in about the last inning and a half from both staffs?
Going Raleigh Fingers-esque with that stash today from Cody Frank. What does he want to do? 0-2 to Brady Neal with Tommy Tanks on deck in a 4-4 game. Pulled the string again, didn't he?
Changeup. Dove down and away from Brady Neal. He didn't waste any time. That is A-League mustache right there.
Come on, Cody.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
That's top quality right there.
Raleigh Fingers. Remember those undershirts that they used to wear? I mean, that's the old heavy sweat jacket there from Raleigh. Tommy White with a chopper to third. That is a fair ball. Throw to second for an out. Back to first. Double play. Twice today. White is into a double play, and the Hawks turn it to get out of the inning.
That's a really good job by Jared Sprague. Lot one, making sure he fields this ball into fair ground, and he takes his time and makes a great feed to Peyton Stovall, the 5'4" DP.
Will Ackenhausen, an Owasso, Oklahoma native. That community has produced a few pitchers in its day. He came on, inherited a couple of base runners, got a bounce out from Malloy to end the 4th inning. And then Cody Frank comes on with a leadoff single from Tiger. Goes strikeout, double play to end that inning. Was it Malloy swinging on a 3-0 pitch against Ackenhausen last inning that ended it?
Yeah, he swung a 3-0 pitch and just really didn't get a good quality pitch or good quality swing on that one. How about 77 off the bat on a 3-0 count?
Would qualify. McLaughlin to lead off, followed by White and Diggs. Was that a swing? It was not. Ackenhausen transferred to LSU after 2 seasons at Eastern Oklahoma. Played a big role last year in their bullpen in the championship season. McLaughlin is 0 for 2 today, couple of strikeouts. That was against Jump, now facing Ackenhausen, and a liner right to Braswell. And these two teams continue to amaze me on their defensive positioning. Almost everybody seems to be in that right spot.
Yeah, that's really, again, great positioning, and Jay Johnson gives that credit to Mark Wanaka and his scouting of the other teams, and that's just picture perfect. I mean, that should be maybe even a double out in left center field.
Leads me into Hudson White as he had the walk-off yesterday. What's been unique to me, though, Troy, and this one is hit in the air out of play to the first base side is when you think about defensive positioning. Yesterday, Tommy Tanks was guarding the line at third base, but the left fielder was way over in the gap, so when that ball got down the line, it was going to score a runner from first.
Right.
Aloy hit a liner to left field the inning before that was perfectly defended, but sometimes you might shift a little differently on the infield to the outfield, and it's that rare time when you get caught that you see that extra base or maybe a chance to win a game.
I think so. Hey, I love this move by Ackenhausen. Against righties, he's going to put that toe barely touching the rubber on the third base side of the mound. And then against lefties, he's going to be way over on the first base side of the rubber. So I've never seen a pitcher really move that dramatically from one side of the rubber to the other to create a better angle. That's really interesting.
What he's doing is creating divots everywhere on that mound, all over that slab. Pitching rubber.
See, there's the right-handed batter, so he's going to be on the third base side of that rubber.
2-2 to White. Sharply hit to White. One White retires another, and that was a spot where he didn't have to move much. And Hudson actually got one by him last night. It felt like he was maybe a step closer to the line on that ground ball and was there to handle it without any issues.
Yeah, ball was hit well off the bat. And I tell you, Tommy White, everybody talks so much about his ability to play, which is exceptional. But he's a really solid third baseman.
This is Diggs. I don't know if he profiles as a third baseman or a first baseman at the next level. There's time to kind of sort that out. But
let's see where Ackenhausen sets up here. That's a good look at Tommy White. Now he is way over on the first base side of the rubber.
Front door pitch just missed.
But you're right. Yeah, Tommy White can probably play some first or third. He's definitely going to play at the next level. It's just going to be not if, but where.
He's going to make a lot of money. Diggs has popped up twice to the shortstop, Braswell. LSU has hit 3 homers for their 4 runs. Arkansas got a homer from Aloy, a 3-run 4th inning. Hogs have never led today, trying to run off their 17th straight win here at Baum Walker. And you're right, Troy, I think that is blood. I think his hand got cut on that leaping attempt at the wall in the 3rd inning on the Larson homer, so I hope he's okay. He's using a couple of batting gloves here, but you start messing up with your hands as he takes ball 4, makes gripping that batter, doing some damage with it, feel a little different.
Yeah, I think so, and that's why you always see that it's so, you see that blood on that right pant leg, and it's not just a drip or drop, it's all over the place. But
let's go back and see the play. If this was a basketball game, we'd make him go change. He'd have to get a new jersey, new pants. And I bet it was on the ground, don't you think, with the rocks?
Well, think about what it did to Pearson's pants. Just ripped a big hole in that pants right there, but that has got some blood on that hand of Kendall Diggs. But, my point about, you talked about people in their hands. Think about how catchers usually get so beat up on their hands on foul balls and foul tips and things like that, and that's why it's so hard to have a really good hitting catcher, is they just get beat up so much, and your hands are so important to hitting.
Spraglott has walked twice. Diggs at first, 2 outs here in the 5th inning. And that one did not miss by much. Felt like maybe that was going to be a strike from Ackenhausen. Instead, the count is 1-1.
Yeah, that's a borderline pitch. It's a really big difference between 1-1 and 0-2.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, and again, that is not
borderline pitches that are not going Ackenhausen's way. And I just have a feeling that Spraglott, if Ackenhausen misses middle in, he's going to hit the ball really hard somewhere.
Someone needs to wear that gorilla mask today. It's still up for grabs. What was DVH asked this week in his press conference whether or not he had tried on the gorilla mask, and he kind of got a look on his face, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And he said, not when anybody's been looking.
Oh,
now,
no.
I don't know.
I was waiting for "Are you kidding me?" response.
Well, he said he's fine with gorilla ball. It's a team camaraderie thing. And there's a check swing. Was that a strike? It was, by Ben Levine over at first, and the fans not pleased. And you saw Kendall still checking his right hand after that check swing. See it again.
See if that barrel crosses home plate right here. Yeah, it does.
I think that's
a
a
really
swing.
good call.
Tried to hold back,
by
could
Ben
not.
Levine.
And that one is popped up. This might fall, and it'll be caught by Milam to end the inning. They have these charity auctions where you bet a lot of money. I would wager a lot just to see DVH in that gorilla mask. But we'll have to wait. We're still tied at 4 through 5 innings here at Bon Walker. That is Ashton Larson, kid from Overland Park, Kansas. Number 78 player in the country last year, according to Perfect Game. Got a feeling he has some friends and family here, and did he ever deliver, Troy, in the 3rd inning? And that was one St. Thomas Aquinas high school product trying to rob another.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They played at the same high school, and yeah, he's going to have a great career. It's a really pretty swing by Larson. Lefties just have a prettier swing than righties.
No doubt.
Well, I'm a little bit jealous, but it's just a fact.
Looks better. So Frank faced 2 batters, got 3 outs. And he is facing Larson to begin the top of the 6th inning. It was Minnesota that drafted Larson last year. On the ground softly to first. McLaughlin will flip to Frank covering in time to begin the top of the 6th inning. You know, the one thing Jay Johnson told us before the game, it is something he's been pretty consistent in over the last couple of weeks, talking to the media after the games or whatnot, just trying to find the right combination. And it isn't always necessarily players, although there's some of that, but getting the guys in the right spots. And he's talked a lot about fight. You know, he wasn't thrilled with last Sunday's game. They had a game last Saturday at Florida they felt like they should have won. And it left a little bit of a hangover, I'm sure, as Jared Jones bats here. And then on Sunday, Troy, they lose to Florida 12-2. Florida hit 6 home runs. They face Jack Caglione. Then they have to turn around their next conference game and face Hagen Smith, the best pitchers in the conference.
You just can't even script it any worse for the Tigers. And yeah, sometimes it's just the luck of the draw, the lack of the luck of the draw right there.
Jones has reached base in 14 straight games, but not today. But you're talking about a stretch where LSU faced Florida, coming to Arkansas. They've got Vandy next weekend, then they go to Tennessee. That is a murderer's row, and then the schedule lightens up when they go to Missouri, play Auburn at home, a good A&M team at home, go to Alabama and Ole Miss. But it feels like they're getting all the powerhouses out of the way in the first half of the conference schedule.
Yeah, they're just trying to survive that first half of that schedule. It is absolutely ruthless. How about
There's a wave and a miss.
A great changeup by Cody Frank, and you're just trying to miss the barrel of Jones right here because he can hit the ball into the next county.
Big, powerful hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond, and that one is tapped foul. You know, for me, part of the storyline is these SEC teams that have won national championships that have really struggled in the next year. Now, I don't think LSU will be to the level of Ole Miss or Mississippi State, Troy, that didn't even make the tournament with those conference records. But I know they're not thrilled to be 2-6 either, because that's not up to their standard or expectation.
Yeah, I think expectation is that key term, and both these programs are just so consistent.
How about that pitch? Painted on the corner for strike 3 to Jones.
Yeah,
and Frank has come out of the bullpen blazing.
Yeah, that's a really good pitch. And again, the fastball by Frank, it does have a little bit of tail that caught at least the full baseball on that outside corner. Jones didn't like it. But that was Brandon Cooper, has had a really consistent, solid strike zone today.
I think the storyline has been, from that standpoint, as Stravinsky bats, that the first night, I think both teams were frustrated with the zone, and it has been spot on. It has felt like the last 2 games.
I think so. Totally agree.
Travinsky last night hit a ball on TrackMan that was clocked at 118 miles an hour. I don't think anybody has hit one harder in college baseball. If somebody has done so, it would only probably be 119.
Right.
He hit a ball 118 miles an hour off his bat yesterday for a single.
That is, man, big league power.
It's a wonder everybody's alive after that. And then he hit that one. It didn't even register as he tapped it at home plate.
That's a negative right there, I think.
118 miles an hour. That was hit at 3 miles an hour. He'll just knock that away. Kling hit one at 112 yesterday at Eloy, and he was out, and he's 0 for 14 in SEC play, and he hit 112.
Yeah, he just hit a screamer right at Eloy, and again, gets back to that positioning we talked about.
Sure does. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the dangerous Hayden Travinsky. Little ball poked in the air down the line and right. McLaughlin racing. How about the running grab from Benny Barrows contending with the tarp? I didn't think he had a chance to make that play. He just never gave up on it and found a way to catch the baseball.
Well, Ben McLaughlin, he is not the most fleet of foot, but man, he had a great angle and a route on this baseball. Had to deal with the tarp. That's a huge out for the power hitting Travinsky at the plate. Brett, we talked about the little things that make the difference in a ball game. This is a great play by Ben McLaughlin, going down there and making that catch. Not only trying to get the 3rd out of the inning for Arkansas, but that's taking another swing away from Hayden Travinsky, a guy that has 8 home runs on the season with tremendous power with the ball flying out of the yard.
Right, you give him another chance, who knows? If he hits one up on the berm, although Frank has been fantastic since he entered the game, as has Ackenhausen. 7, 8, and 9 due up this inning. Arkansas has never led in this game. Edmondson, though, a couple of singles. Scored a run. He's found his name in the lineup on a slightly more regular basis. Hard hit, and that is a fair ball down the line and left. Edmondson will cruise towards second base. Played back in by Larson, and the Razorbacks have the go-ahead run at second base to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning.
But a big swing by Will Edmondson. Just found a little bit of a crease right down that third base line. And I mean, that's not any chance that Tommy White can make that play. That's just one of those balls that hit them where they ain't.
It shows you how things change, and not always dramatically, but sometimes just some ebbs and flows of a season. You go back to that Missouri weekend, and I know Arkansas just kind of overwhelmed the Tigers. As Helfrich bats here, he's 1 for 2, but Troy Lovich and Souza, to me, were kind of the storylines in that series with the damage that they did. Well, Souza's 1 for 16 since that 2-homer game. Lovich 0 for 11, and all of a sudden guys like Edmondson and Wagner and Helfrich have stepped up.
Yeah, I think that's just the depth of the Arkansas team.
Pitch was called a strike on the check swing. Got the fans fired up again. You know these fans are invested when they're into check swings, unlike about anybody else.
That is true, but that pitch was a borderline strike, really, for Ackenhausen.
That ball hit in the air, deep center field. Back goes Bingham. Ballpark will hold it. Catch is made. Edmondson will tag. He'll go to 3rd and twice today. Helfrich has advanced a runner on a fly out. And Edmondson 90 feet away with 1 gone.
Well, you hear about coaches all the time talking about quality at-bats. You give me a quality at-bat. That is a professional quality at-bat. You don't take the bat out of his hands. DVH doesn't. You allow a guy with tremendous power to have a shot to hit one out of the yard, but he does his job. He moves that runner to 3rd base, less than 2 outs, and that is going to bring the infield in for LSU.
I like it, but I really like it that you're doing so with a freshman who has only 3 hits in his college career. Wilmsmeyer had a big 2-run single in the 4th. I mean, you're giving this kid a chance to take a big cut, and if he fails, it's one thing, but you want him to advance that runner, and he did so, but didn't give in. He wasn't trying to bunt, wasn't trying to slap a ball to the right side.
Yeah, he did his job. He drove that baseball, had a chance to maybe get it over the head of Bingham in center field.
Big pitch to Wilmsmeyer in the dirt, knocked down nicely by Neal. LSU had a 4-1 lead going into the bottom of the 4th. Wilmsmeyer's 2-run single, a huge part of that frame. It has tied things up, but Arkansas trying to take their first lead of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike to Wilmsmeyer with Edmondson at third base. Ackenhausen's pitch, cut and a missed. Over the top of that pitch.
See Jones backing up just a hair. I mean, it looked like a softball player. He was playing about 50 feet away from Wilmsmeyer.
Ackenhausen would really love a strikeout. The pitch, a little tapper, back to the mound. Edmondson's going to try to score. He's safe. He went to the back tip of the plate with a dive. And he got in under the tag of Neal. LSU wants a review. For the time being, Arkansas has its first lead at 5-4 on the swinging bunt comebacker. And Edmondson never hesitated coming down the line at third. And let's see with the review if he got in
at home.
under the tag of Neal.
Play is on a review.
That's a really close play at the plate.
I thought in real time, Troy, he got there. He was safe, but we'll find out.
That's a really good athletic play by Ackenhausen right here. You can see just like that swinging bunt. Edmondson does not hesitate. You see at the backhand of the play, I think he's there. You can see the home plate umpire, Brandon Cooper, is absolutely right on top of that play.
He is.
And Brady Neal had to kind of reach to his right and to get that ball and then come back to his left to try to make that tag. If that throw was right in the line with the third base line, I think he's out. But Ackenhausen has to field that ball on the backhand like an infielder.
Well, the 2 replays we saw, I don't think will allow you to overrule this because, again, our plate umpire is right there on the spot, but I think he takes a little bit of the angle away from seeing if this tag was made here. You just can't tell, and that would have been the best angle.
After review,
but Brandon Cooper's right there.
Safe at home. Stands.
Yeah,
so indeed,
it was the throw by Ackenhausen that was kind of up and away. If it was down and in on that third base line, I think he's out. But watch Brady Neal have to reach across his body to catch this ball. It's such a difficult play. I mean, that's a great job by a big left-handed pitcher to reach across the body. But you see where Neal has to reach up to his right and then come back to try to make that tag.
Stovall drives one high in the air, deep right field. Pearson back to the wall, and it's gone. It just cleared the fence in right center. And the Louisiana native Peyton Stovall has connected for a 2-run homer. And Arkansas has scored the last 6 runs in the game. It's a 7-4 Razorback lead. He got it up, and it carried out. Maybe the second time in this game, Troy, we've seen a fan take off his shirt and whip it around in a ball that just went up so high, kind of backspun or carried beyond the fence.
Well, that was what Dave Van Horn said. He said a little bit of backspin, some balls might fly out of here. And, you know, a night before, that thing's probably 20 feet away from the fence because how hard it was blowing in from right field.
So a fielder's choice RBI by Wilmsmeyer put Arkansas in front 5-4. The very next pitch is launched out of the park by Stovall. And Aloy is 1 for 3. A couple of bounce outs to third after his home run.
This is a pitch you need to be really careful right here. If you're Ackenhausen, you do not want to miss middle in to Vahiva Aloy.
I think it means a little bit more to Peyton Stovall when he gets to face LSU.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he grew up watching LSU play.
Well, you know, you're from that home state. You admire the program, and you got to do some damage against them. It's got to be a big, great feeling.
Arkansas has hit a pair of homers. LSU has 3, but the Hogs up 7-4. And Vahiva walks. It even surprises him when he walks. But all of a sudden, that's become a much more regular occurrence. His patience, not expanding the zone, willing to take his walks.
Well, I think he's just so scary. We talked about the ball that was hit so hard at 118, and that's what Vahiva Aloy does. He just hits it at a different speed off the bat. Travinsky, 118. Was it Travinsky that did that?
118.
118. That's just crazy.
McLaughlin is 0 for 3. Aloy's going to run. Pitches a strike. Throw down, bounces. Close but safe. Aloy gets his 5th bag of the year. Again, a little better throw might have had Aloy. It was to the third base side, and Braswell had to take it on a bounce and try and slap it tag down, but was late.
Arkansas doesn't run much, but they found a good opportunity right there. Aloy goes on first movement, excuse me.
In the air to center. Bingham waiting for this one to descend. Catch is made. Throw goes to third, and that is the second out of the inning. A kicked away from White, but
this looked like it came up and hit him in the chin.
Ooh.
You're an LSU fan, say, don't hurt Tommy White. Just make sure he stays in one piece.
You think he goes and gets those things trimmed up, or has he just gone sans barber for several months?
I think he just lets it fly, let the flow
let
go.
it flow, let it go. It's his calling card with the long ball, but Ackenhausen, who got off to a really good start, ran into some trouble this inning. A double, that little tapper and ground ball halfway back to the mound off the bat of Wilmsmeyer that scored a run was probably the frustrating part. Then Stovall had the 2-run homer, and now the Tigers have gone to the bullpen. 7-4, Arkansas leads. We'll take a break, come back with the new LSU pitcher right after this. Well, Troy Payton Stovall, after that review at home, wasted a little time hitting one up and carrying one out.
Yeah, it looked like a bomb in the book, but how about this? Baumwalker Stadium, when it was built, was 375 to right center field. Opposing coaches would try to get the left-handed power hitters not to come to Arkansas because the wind blows in from right field. What DVH do several years ago? He moved that fence in 10 feet. I think if that's 375 right there, that ball's caught.
Well, it's not getting over the fence. I know that. I think it was measured at 370-something.
That's one way to fix the wind. Just bring the fence in 10 feet.
Well, it would help if we didn't play in Albuquerque. It felt like the last couple of days with the wind.
Lubbock.
Yeah, Lubbock. Kevin Guidry, a Barb High School product out of Lake Charles, comes on to pitch.
See the numbers on Guidry right there. He's going to sit upper 80s to low 90s. Pretty much a two-pitch mix guy like a lot of relievers. Fastball, slider for Guidry. Opponents only hitting 250 off the right hander, kind of straight over the top. And that fastball, it does have some carry, so it's going to stay up in the zone if he tries to work high.
Batter is Hudson White. 3 runs home this inning. Aloy in scoring position. Hudson White singled in the first, a couple of ground out since. So Arkansas's following a familiar pattern. A couple of big innings, a couple of 3-run frames, and they're not done yet here in the 6th. To me, though, and I put our producer Caden on this a couple of weeks ago, but he was too busy. But he tells me that he's going to get to it soon, is that the ability to have these innings where literally a bulk of their damage is done in 1 or 2 innings for the entire game.
Yeah, and
it's been amazing.
What's unusual is, except for that one inning where they had 4 straight singles, it's usually one big swing as well, too.
2 strikes on Hudson White. That one bounces by Neal. No chance to kind of knock that one down. And Aloy will move to third on the wild pitch.
It's just one of those times when Guidry just doesn't want to hang that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
Young man, as a freshman last year, had 23 appearances and really important part of their bullpen. He wants to end this inning, keep LSU within 3. And the pitch to White. Check swing, little blooper. Hit towards Milam, and the inning ends. But Arkansas, another 3-run frame. Stovall had a 2-run homer. Now it's the Tigers who are down by 3.
Oh, here comes the bread guy.
Ugh, don't you ever get sick of bread?
How dare you?
Come on. If you save nearly $750 like this, imagine what we could splurge on.
Oh, like sourdough.
No, the good stuff, like blueberries.
And strawberries?
Exactly.
Raspberries, blackberries, cranberries,
Okay,
elderberries,
we don't need to name
boysenberries,
all the berries.
goji berries, halle berry. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
But I love her.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds to spend on whatever you dream up.
Norman, bad news. I never graduated from med school.
What?
But the good news is, Xfinity Mobile just got even better. Now, you can automatically connect to Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on the go. Plus, buy one unlimited line and get one free for a year.
I gotta get this deal.
That's like $20 a month per unlimited line. I don't want to miss that.
That's amazing.
Mobile savings are calling. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more.
Tommy White got things rolling in the first inning with that opposite field home run, his 60th of his career. How about Ashton Larson hitting one into the bullpen down right field? Ty Wilmsmeyer finds a hole, shoots one through the gap for a pair of RBIs. Peyton Stovall, the hitting machine for Arkansas, drives in a run, and he's not done yet. How about the big fly? That's a moonshot off the bat of Peyton Stovall, the 3-run bomb. It's going to be 2-run homer for Stovall. Arkansas is leading 7-4.
Yeah, 6 unanswered for the Razorbacks. So now all of a sudden, the Tigers go from leading by 3 to trailing by 3, and time of the essence now. And Troy, Cody Frank has been really good since he came on with a base runner aboard and nobody out in the 5th.
Yeah, he really has. You know what you're going to get for Cody Frank. He's 24 years old. He's a guy that is just salty. He's going to throw strikes. He's got the 3-pitch mix. He'll throw the fastball around 88, 89. Really good changeup and a huge sweeping breaking ball that he really likes to throw to those right-hand hitters.
We're going to have to watch the spin rate on a few of his breaking pitches if he throws them this inning. Here's Pearson. 0 for 2. Twice he's found the glove of Edmondson and left. Wave and a miss at the changeup on the first pitch here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, Cody Frank's really leaning on that changeup to those left-handed Tiger hitters.
Five, 6, and 7 due up this inning.
How about another one? And you get out of the hand, and it's not that much velocity difference. That's a fastball at 88, a changeup at 82. So it looks like a fastball out of the hand, just a little bit less miles per hour to get that barrel head out just a little bit too early.
Chopper to second. Stovall is able to charge to get that short hop and retire Pearson. First out of the 7th inning.
Brett, I watched the interview last night with Dave Van Horn, post-game interview. He talked about what Peyton Stovall does. He goes, he attacks the baseball. He does not sit back on his heels and get caught in between hops, and that's a prime example of him really playing that baseball well. And I tell you what, DVH, a second baseman in his day, was an excellent fielder, and he has a lot of appreciation for how Peyton Stovall plays the game.
And you compare it, and here's Bingham, who homered his last time in, with Colon, who tried to play third base for Missouri that weekend, and time again he got caught between hops and balls were bouncing off his chest and his glove, and it really, to me, pretty dramatically changed some of those games.
Yeah, I think so, because Missouri, their pitchers threw very well against Arkansas. There's one of those big breaking balls. How about 28-10 spin rate?
He threw a changeup at 1968. He just threw a curveball at 2,800 plus spin rate. That's going incredible spin and no spin.
How about 13 inches of horizontal break? That is a Frisbee breaking ball by Cody Frank.
You throw it again.
Changeup. He's not afraid to even throw that changeup to righties. It's got good down and in motion. You're going to get on top of it.
That almost looked a little more like kind of a get-me-over fastball, but it came into the righty, so a 2-1 pitch here. That one socked to left field. Bingham hits one back towards the bullpen and beyond, way up in the hog pen. The second homer of the game for Bingham, 437 feet. And a Tiger fan gets the baseball, and LSU's back in this game. It's a 7-5 contest.
That was a fastball right down the middle of the plate. Mac Bingham does not miss it. I mean, that ball is absolutely tattooed. And you can see Cody Frank going, that was a mistake.
You know, a year ago, Bingham hit 360 with 20 doubles and 10 home runs for the Arizona Wildcats. So Troy, he is no stranger to Baum Walker because Arizona came here last year for the regional. Well, he's enjoyed his return. Milam with a bouncer to Stovall again. And Stovall's recorded a couple of outs this inning. So
I mean, that's a big home run by Mac Bingham. Go ahead, Brett. Sorry.
That's 851 feet of homers today for Bingham into the hog pen.
That's impressive.
That's a lot.
But when you can get that lead down to 2,
there's no doubt.
Now you just get a bloop, a walk, hit batter, blast, and tie ball game.
Braswell's been on base both times. He's singled, been hit by a pitch, scored a run. And LSU has lost 7 of their last 8 games here in Fayetteville. Disappointing ending to their series last weekend. I know last night was disappointing as well. Even the other night, they had a lead against Hagen Smith. And Arkansas came back for the W. So if you play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game, you can go back and find different portions of games that could have tilted it maybe to LSU on Thursday or Friday. Well, today they had a 4-1 lead, but now Arkansas is up by 2 as Braswell takes a strike.
Braswell's trying to see where that pitch was, clearly in the zone. Arkansas does have some action down the bullpen. Looks like they've got left-hander Stone Hewlett, right-hander Dylan Carter.
2-1 pitch. Little flare over the leap of Aloy. I thought maybe he had timed his jump perfectly, but Braswell had enough to carry that ball into left field, and he's been on base all 3 times, and he will bring the tying run to the plate in the 7th inning.
That's a great job by Braswell, staying on that changeup. You can see double barrel action down there in the pen.
This is Brady Neal. Hits a mile-high fly ball to left field. High sky today. Edmondson starting to drift, but he makes the catch. But Troy, Mac Bingham is keeping LSU in this game.
Yeah, it's a really big swing by Mac Bingham. You talk about a no-doubter, great extension, great power from the Arizona transfer.
Tell you what, I'm not sure if I'm more impressed with that fan's hat or his shirt or his energy. What do you think, Troy?
He's bringing it all today.
Dixieland Delight. Got a little dance to him, little strut.
The energy is still up in the 7th inning.
Okay, by the way, I suppose we're looking at a game summary. 7-5 Arkansas leading. A couple of home runs from Aloy and Stovall. 4 home runs for the Tigers, 2 from Bingham. And Diggs, Spraglott, and Edmondson against Guidry. Kendall has popped twice to short and also drawn a walk. Arkansas has already clinched this series. They're trying to sweep. And since Arkansas joined the SEC in 1992, before this weekend, LSU had won 24 of the 31 regular season series. Arkansas had won 3 straight before last year. Remember, the Hogs had that big win in the Skeens game in Baton Rouge and then lost the last 2 games, so LSU took the series. But Arkansas trying to win their 4th series in the last 5 tries against the LSU Tigers, despite the fact that 24 of 31 had gone to LSU.
Yeah, that's not easy to beat the Tigers. Year in, year out, one of the best programs in college baseball, as well as Arkansas.
Thought Diggs might get something to hit. He did not. He was content to take ball 4, and Arkansas with a base runner. And since Bingham has hit a couple of homers, including that long shot in the top of the 7th, I have a feeling Arkansas feels like they need to keep on adding runs.
I definitely think so. How about 5 straight curveballs to Kendall Diggs? Nothing straight in that sequence.
It brings up Spraglott, who's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. You know, Jay Johnson, LSU, they've talked about needing to learn how to win with this group. And again, a comeback in this game would be a step forward in that process. But for Arkansas, they just want to regain a larger lead and see if they can improve to 8-1 in league play through 3 conference weekend series.
Brett, we talked about positioning of LSU. They have got the left fielder Larson in left center again. You can see where he's playing. A ball down the left field line might have the same result of scoring a run.
My question is, Tommy White is over near the line at third. I think that's where you want to play if your left fielder is going to be over in the gap. If you hit a ball hard to his left, could that also find its way all the way to the fence on the grass?
It might.
If that's the case, you really need Larson to be able to cover a lot of ground to his right, and he is a left-handed left fielder.
Steady diet of breaking balls out of the right hand of Guidry.
2 balls and a strike to Sprague-Lott. Lean and lanky is Guidry for that flip to first. Next pitch. Sprague-Lott was giving himself a swing to try and hit one into the hog pen.
Looked like Vahiva Lloyd type of swing right there on that breaking ball.
It did. It was one where the helmet's rattling around in your neck and your head. The 2-2 is upstairs again.
This is going to be an interesting decision for Arkansas. Do you start the runner right here? Guidry, he's 1-3 to 1-4 to the plate, which is fairly quick. Diggs, average speed at first base.
I think you've answered your own question.
Yeah, I think you stay.
He is going, and the pitch is strike 3, and the throw down is not in time, but Sprague-Lott stepped in front of the catcher, Neal, so that means Kendall Diggs is going to be out, and this is a rule I hate, but I understand it. Diggs is saying, wait a minute, but because Sprague-Lott on strike 3 stepped in front of Neal, it's going to be a double play.
That's why Neal's throw kind of sailed on him a little bit.
That's right.
That is a huge double play for LSU, and just an overswing by Sprague-Lott to lose his balance. Let's see it again here. Sprague-Lott is going to swing. Oh, no, he walks in front of him.
Yeah, he walked in front of him. That's even more puzzling.
Yeah, he just stays put. Kendall Diggs gets to second base easy.
I think that's 100% the right call then by Brandon Cooper.
Yeah, it was almost an obstruction on the batter. Boy, what a way to turn an inning around.
So 2 outs, nobody on now. Edmondson has been on base all 3 times. 3 for 3 afternoon. His average has gone from 233 to 283.
Yeah, he's feeling really comfortable at the plate.
Got his first homer Tuesday against Little Rock, and more and more playing time. A 3 for 3 game. He's elevated his numbers. He's covered in dirt from head to toe, but now batting with the bases empty. He's going to take the walk. So, Troy, that issue with Sprague-Lott costing Diggs second base really looms large. If he doesn't run, now you've got first and second one out anyhow.
Yeah, that was a really, really big play, and I think that's just kind of a mental error by Sprague-Lott in that situation.
I have to believe he just didn't realize Diggs was running. Ryder Helfrich batting. Helfrich 1 for 3. Singleton scored back in the 4th. Twice with fly balls, he has advanced runners who have tagged at second and gone to third.
I think if you're Ryder Helfrich, you just got to have to sit on that big overhand breaking ball and see if you can get one up in the zone. Because if he hits a fly ball to left, it's going to probably blow out.
Activity rolling in the LSU bullpen. Hogs up by 2 in the bottom of the 7th. Upstairs again, 2-0 to Helfrich. Got a lefty working in the LSU bullpen.
That is Anderson.
Cade Anderson.
I think this is a big pitch right here for LSU. If they can just get out of this inning, you've got a guy with tremendous power and a hitter's count that can do some damage. He tried to.
He sure did. He was giving himself one tremendous swing.
That was a pitch up in the zone, but it was in the outer third by Guidry. He didn't leave it center cut like a couple pitches that Arkansas has made mistakes to LSU, and they've made them pay.
Guidry to Helfrich. That's a strike, and another throw down is going to cut down a second Arkansas runner this inning. One on the caught stealing, one on the interference. Edmondson is erased, and the Hawks just ran themselves right out of that 7th inning. I think DVH wants a review. Hold on. Let's not go to break just yet. DVH wants a review, and Troy, I guess this falls under the category spend him if you've got him.
I think so. He kind of looked at Edmondson, the runner, and he said, should I question this or challenge this? And Edmondson kind of put his hands out to the side and he was like, I don't know, but I agree. Why keep those bullets in the gun if you can fire him? It's a great throw by Brady Neal. Let's see if that hand sneaks in there.
I think he might be safe.
Ooh, I do too.
Well, we have a better angle here. I think he's at the base here. Now, it's really hard to tell from that angle. I thought the previous one might be the best. Let's see. That glove, that tag is not on yet. I think he's safe.
And he hangs on to the base. He doesn't slide off. That's the key.
The fans are seeing what you're seeing, and there's a murmur through the crowd. They feel like Edmondson might be safe. I don't know if DVH felt like in real time that his runner was safe, as Edmondson has even more filth on his uniform now. Or whether he thought, you know, it's 7th inning, I haven't used one. Let's go ahead and take a look and see if I might be able to keep this inning going.
The call of out at second base will be overturned.
Well, you win one every once in a while on the review.
Still has 2 remaining.
I feel better about Arkansas, Troy, because it's not like them to run themselves out of an inning a couple of times in that sequence, and that would have been a rough way for their 7th to come to an end, but he's peaking right now.
Yeah, that's what it's a cardinal sin right there, is not to look back, but it again, the throw is a little bit on the shortstop side of second base. If that's on the first base side, that's going to be an easy catch him and tag him out.
With 2 outs, why is he looking right there? Is he
I don't know.
Just to see if that ball's hit in his direction? It's a big review because if Helfrich gets a base hit here, it should cash in another run. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Ryder. And it's a mile-high pop-up that'll find its way back and out of play.
One thing LSU has done a good job of is their middle infielders have tried to play right behind second base to try to hold those Arkansas base runners close to second for those outfielders get a shot to try to throw them out at the plate.
Guidry to Helfrich. That's a swing. That's a strikeout. And the inning does end. So Arkansas gets a couple of base runners. Stranded runner in scoring position. Tough and tight as we go to the 8th. 2-run Razorback advantage. Take a look at some SEC headlines. No shortage of headlines. Home teams really dominating through the first few weeks. No surprise there. This, to me, is the most impressive. Troy, they are 6-1 entering play today over in the Eastern Division. Arkansas trying to go to 8-1. We know Charlie Condon hasn't been human with 17 homers already this year. I'd love to know how many he might finish with. That number could be eye-popping, well on his way to 30-plus.
I mean, he's more than most teams.
That's right.
It's
80-some
crazy.
teams, I think he's hit more home runs. But Kentucky at 6-1 atop the East, to me, is the biggest storyline in the SEC that maybe we didn't anticipate. The biggest storyline now in this weekend is Hunter Dietz on to pitch. You talk a young man who has all kinds of acclaim that has preceded him, but this is his first opportunity to get on the mound.
How about 6'6", 230, size 16 shoe from Hunter Dietz. He had a little bit of minor elbow surgery, wasn't quite right in the fall. Tremendous upside from this big left-hander.
D1 Baseball had him as the number 6 overall player in the 2023 class. So the first batter he gets to face in college baseball is the active home run leader in Tommy White.
That's just not fair.
Who has homered and hit into 2 double plays. The Tigers left a runner last inning. It's the first runner they've left on base all game because they've hit homers and they've hit into double plays. And 92 from Dietz misses. Pitched for Calvary Christian last year. I think that was the school that Roy Halladay used to work at with his kids before the late, great Roy Halladay passed. 2 balls and a strike. Understand he's got a pretty good splitter in addition to a slider for Dietz. 2-1 pitch is a little bit in. He threw 8 innings this fall and had 13 strikeouts when the reporters were able to watch. And I think he gave up 2 hits and 25 at bats. He was that good against Arkansas's hitters. But he walks Tommy White here. And Troy, this is the tough part about bringing this kid in this situation, considering he hasn't pitched. Now the tying run comes to the plate.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation, and he's going to be electric, but it's just trying to figure out how he's going to handle this pressure.
Arkansas does have a midweek game coming up on Tuesday against Arkansas State. They're throwing him right in there, and this is Ethan Fry hitting for Larson. Larson homer, now Ethan Fry batting. He's going to take strike 1.
One thing, Hunter Dietz does not take a whole lot of time in between pitches.
Fry is 0 for 7 this weekend.
I'm not sure if Tommy White can take a shorter lead over at first base. We might have to get a shot of that. He may be 4 feet off the bag, leaning back toward first base.
Yeah, he would land in the grass if he went into a hard dive to his left. Bouncer over the head of McLaughlin, who was holding the runner even though he wasn't going anywhere. And runners are at first and second. Troy should maybe Ben have backed up a couple of steps because of that short lead from Tommy White there and maybe had a chance at that play, just playing devil's advocate.
That's really a tough thing because if you play behind him, do you give him second base? But it's just one of those seeing eye singles, just a chopper off that hard ground in front of home plate. But boy, that's a tough way to give up a hit. And you've got Jared Jones, who's absolutely scary at the plate.
0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Go ahead run at the plate. That's 92 at the knees for strike 1. Dietz chose Arkansas over Ole Miss. Had that stress fracture in his elbow. No ligament damage, though, giving him a chance to come back and pitch today for the first time. 0-1. Way outside, and he's had a few that have just been erratically out of the zone, and you could understand a little bit of rustiness.
Yeah, and if he's missing, it seems like he's missing arm side, so into a lefty, away from righties.
White at second, Fry at first. Jones fouls one back and out of play. Reached base in 14 straight games has Jared Jones. Would like to find a way to get on here, but down in the count, 1-2.
See if Dietz doesn't try to bury something down in the zone, trying to get the strikeout.
LSU has hit into 2 double plays today. Wave and a miss. Jones goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning.
A big breaking ball down and in, kind of got underneath Jared Jones's hands. Look where this thing ends up. You can see Ryder Helfriger, the head nod from the catcher, you know you've hit your spot.
I think Jones might have tweaked something in his back. He did not look right when he walked away. Either that or really frustrated. There's that pitch again. Strike to Travinsky.
And here's an offensive timeout that Jay Johnson's famous for.
They used 2 of these last night, correct?
I believe so.
Just to kind of break the rhythm of Christian Fouch and somebody else over the course of the game. What do you suppose the conversation is like here?
I'm sure they're talking about strategy of what they think that Dietz is going to throw. I mean, there's really no scouting report. This is his first appearance this season.
You talk about a couple of heralded freshmen there for Arkansas with Helfrich and Dietz working together, and Ryder used this opportunity to go out there and just talk to his pitcher.
Yeah, I think that's really smart out of the freshman catcher.
Problem is he established a little bit of a rhythm there for 2 or 3 pitches.
I think so. See if it has any effect on the young lefty.
Travinsky's 0 for 3. And that pitch up and outside.
It was a changeup. Just kind of got away.
Almost no spin whatsoever on that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike to the DH for the Tigers. Hard hit up the middle. Aloy with the bobble. He's still going to have a chance at first, and he gets the out, but no double play. And there's 2 runners in scoring position, and that's a way to rebound. Had he caught it cleanly, that would have been an easy inning-ending double play, but he did get Travinsky.
Yeah, I think that ball came up on Aloy just a little bit. Had a little top spin. See if it doesn't have – that's a play I think he's going to make 10 times out of 10. And, again, he doesn't lose his wits about it and makes a strong throw to get that big out. But, boy, you're right. That you got a scrappy hitter in Pearson right here.
Wondered if Tommy White, cutting in front of him, took that angle away for a split second. But here is Pearson, left on left. Base hit, though, would tie up this game. Pearson's 0 for 3. Big wave and a miss. I will say, when the balls have been in the zone or out of the zone that LSU has swung at, they have really taken some wild hacks against Dietz. Two outs and 2 strikes. And that one's fouled back and out of play.
That ball's not even close to being a strike, and that's just a great job by Pearson to put some bat on the ball right there.
Tommy White's at third. Fry's at second. Freshman making his collegiate debut. Missing down and into Pearson. Didn't come that far away from maybe hitting him to load the bases.
Might have been the splitter. He said he throws the splitter. That was 82 miles an hour. I think that was it right there, and almost kind of got away from him. That could have been a tough pitch to hit him with 2 strikes.
And he did get him on that elbow. Was he leaning in at all? Helfrich kind of made the motion that Pearson leaned in. Brandon Cooper wasn't buying it. DVH out for an explanation, and I think he's going to buy a review. Well, he won one on the stolen base by Edmondson, so he will ask again. We'll give you a quick look. He's really close to the plate, so did he lean in at all? I think he did. Well, I don't know. He started to lean in, and then he
kind of rolled away.
Yeah, kind of rolled it away. I don't think you can win that, can you?
I don't think so. I think you're going to – your reaction a little bit was to lean in the first movement, but he did kind of start rolling away from that baseball.
Here's the problem. You know who's due up in the box with the bases loaded?
Mac Bingham.
And he has homered twice today with mammoth shots above the bullpen in those stands in left field. Helfrich's talking to our plate umpire right now.
It's like not going to do any good, Ryder. This decision's made in Birmingham, son.
But jumping ahead with a couple of strikes, that was an outcome that Dietz wanted to win.
The call on the field of hit by pitch stands. Runner first base.
So the bases are loaded for Mac Bingham, who is hit 2 homers today that have combined for 851 feet.
And Dave's going to come out of the dugout. That's going to be a pitching change right there for DVH.
Dietz was given an opportunity to finish the inning, but Arkansas didn't turn the double play, and then a 2-strike, 2-out HBP, and the Hogs will go to the bullpen. A little bit of everything for Dietz, flashing some of his stuff. Bases full of Tigers as we step aside and come back with a new Razorback pitcher. Well, Will McIntyre enters this game. Second time he's appeared in the series, and he inherits a bases-loaded 2-out scenario in the 8th inning.
Yeah, tough jam for McIntyre to come in. He needs to try to get a punch out. You see the 40 Ks and 5 walks, so you know that McIntyre's going to fill up the zone. He's going to throw a lot of cutters to the right-hander, Mac Bingham. But, man, if you're LSU, even though you've got Tommy White on your team, I think in this game, in this moment, you want Mac Bingham at the plate.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We got Mac against Mac, right?
The Mac attack is happening right here.
They're playing return of the Mac over the PA system. Well, Mac Bingham might feel like that's for him rather than Will McIntyre. Massive crowds this entire weekend, and the Hog Pen has been loaded up here this afternoon and waiting to see the outcome of what transpires here in the 8th inning. At one point, LSU had a 3-run lead. At one point, Arkansas had a 3-run lead, and feels like the game's certainly hanging in the balance right here. There might even be a few fans out there paying attention to what's taking place.
I think so.
It might be a few somewhere.
This is going to be an interesting matchup. Arkansas is going to play defensively very straight away. Outfielders tremendously deep in the outfield. Infielders completely straight away. Peyton Stovall's trying to get a little bit of movement. He shifted a little bit more up the middle as the second baseman for Arkansas.
Bases loaded for Bingham, who has 2 homers already today, and Will leans on that cutter to drop it in for strike 1.
I mean, just at the bottom corner of the zone, that is Will McIntyre's MO. He's kind of like a right-handed Tom Glavine.
Even a base hit would tie things up. An extra base hit would put the Tigers back in front. That cutter carries outside. There was some conversation this week if McIntyre's cutter has similar movement to Kevin Kopp's from a couple of years ago.
I think McIntyre would like to be in that conversation with stuff like Kopp's.
Tell you what, though, his numbers as far as walks to strikeouts and hits per innings and all of that, really pretty good. Ahead in the count here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Can he finish off Bingham, the dangerous Mac Bingham? McIntyre's offering. Caught on and missed. Strike 3. McIntyre will strand 3 Tigers and maintain this Arkansas lead into the bottom of the 8th inning.
What a huge pitch in this ballgame. Again, we talked about this whole weekend being a heavyweight fight, and McIntyre just drops that cutter right off the table. We're talking about, watch the spin of this pitch. You can see it, you see a dot on those sliders or cutters. Will McIntyre with a huge reaction, and then he goes into the zombie walk as he goes off the field.
Wanted to see more of the zombie walk. Meanwhile, Wilmsmeyer leads off the bottom of the 8th. Sends one out into right center field. Bingham on the move. He got a good break on that baseball and tracked it down. It's going to be his play. 1 pitch, 1 out in the Razorback 8th inning.
We talk about how good of an outfielder Paxton Kling is out there and how much ground he can cover. That was a great jump and just glided over into that alley to take a double away from Ty Wilmsmeyer by Mac Bingham.
This is Peyton Stovall. And they actually had a new center fielder, so they snuck Brown in.
Oh, my bad.
And moved Bingham to left after Fry pinch hit. So, give credit where credit's due. Stovall has 3 runs batted in here today. And Jake Brown made that running catch.
Made it look easy.
Maybe if Bingham's there, he doesn't catch it. Who knows? Stovall will take ball 4. So Arkansas has a 1-out base runner in the 8th. Going to bring up Vahiva Aloy, who homered way back in the 1st. We talked a lot about Aloy, what he did last year. With 14 homers at Sac State, the WAC Freshman of the Year, joining a handful of other Hornets who had done so, including Reese Hoskins, who won that award in 2012. Reese with the new team with the Brewers drew the ire of the Mets yesterday for a hard slide at second base. A little bit of a brouhaha. We don't see enough brouhahas or fracases anymore.
Not many, but it stirred the pot a little bit, didn't it?
1 on, 1 out. Arkansas looking for insurance in the bottom of the 8th inning. Hawks also trying to win their 17th straight home game, Troy. That was set in 1997, so it hasn't happened this century, winning 17 straight home games. 1 home loss all year. It came to James Madison in that opening weekend. Good pitch for a strike. Arkansas lost on that Sunday game 7-3 to James Madison. At that point, if I would have told you, hey, Arkansas will run off potentially 17 straight home wins after that, would you have said sure?
I don't think I would have taken that bet. Yeah, that's a pretty good run. It's a tribute to the team and how they enjoy protecting the home field at Baum Walker, and also to the fan base of just coming out there and giving your team just a little bit extra when you're playing at home.
I think Arkansas would feel a little more comfortable with an extra run, if not more. And that pitch up and in to Aloy.
A lot of off-speed pitches by Gavin Guidry.
The 2-1. Turned on and sent foul down the line into the seats. This was Fajiva's 380-foot homer back in the first. I thought he got it off the end of the bat. He still juiced it pretty good.
How about 112? But it only had 21-degree launch angle, so that's how come it just got out like a dart.
Stovall at first, a 2-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Good pitch. Strike 3.
That was a really good pitch by Gavin Guidry, and Jay Johnson's going to come out of the pen, and looks like he's going to make a change right here. Look at the location in that looked like exactly like the same pitch McIntyre
sure did
threw. Very similar, exactly the same result.
I'm not sure how you're supposed to hit that.
No, you can't.
Looks like someone's emerging out of that LSU bullpen. I don't think Jay Johnson's made the signal yet. Regardless, a new LSU pitcher wants to enter the game. We'll step aside, tell you who he is when you come back. Well, another big crowd here at Baum Walker. How about 33,107 this holiday weekend? Just what you anticipated with the defending national champions coming to town. Arkansas trying to finish off a sweep. This has been a back and forth game here on this Saturday afternoon, and Justin Lohr, the junior from Minnesota, becomes the fourth pitcher to throw today for LSU.
Yeah, big left-hander, 6'5", 214. Really tough arm angle. He'll sit around 90, 92 with that fastball. Throws a slider and a changeup as well. But here's the big number for Lohr. How about lefties only hitting 217 off the big left-hander?
Yeah, that's a big number or a low number, I guess, depending on which you prefer. Peyton Stovall aboard at first now with 2 outs. Ben McLaughlin will get to face the lefty Lohr in a 7-5 Arkansas lead.
Whatever Jason Jones just said to Peyton Stovall, he got a no-way reaction out of him. So they're having a pretty fun conversation over there at first base.
Jared Jones, a Georgia native playing for LSU, and Stovall, the Louisiana native, playing for Arkansas.
I think there's so much respect between these two teams, and you know these guys. Sometimes they even give a chance to play some summer ball, but together, and you just want to kind of pick the other guy's brain just a little bit when you get that chance.
Why not? Ben is 0 for 4, hasn't had many hitless games, but his average has now dropped below 300 at 299. Best on base percentage on the team, but he has not walked either today. Of course, they start bringing tough lefties out of the bullpen to face you when you're hitting 3-hole on a team that is #1 in the country. A win today would send Arkansas to 8-1 in league play. Would improve the Razorbacks to 19-1 at home and 23-3 overall. Had the loss at Auburn, lost to Oklahoma State in that long game, and then the early contest at home to JMU. Stovall started to stumble. He had a short lead, but I thought he might just lock up there between.
Bobby Werner's had to give him a little more instructions.
Those last couple of steps.
That last time you got back to the base wasn't pretty. You need to make sure you don't get picked off right here with 2 outs.
Hudson White on deck. He'll bat if McLaughlin can continue this Arkansas 8th inning. Interesting setup there from Lohr. That's got to be tough for those lefties, and then take strike 1. Looks like when he comes set, he's going to throw that ball into the third base dugout. Or I'm sorry, the first base dugout. Just kind of sling it. Closes off that front foot. Glove up under his chin. Long pause. Pitch timer's at 2, and the pitch comes home, and McLaughlin lifts one to left, and that is now Bingham, and he's going to track it down to end the inning. So Arkansas does not get any insurance. They strand a runner. On we go to the 9th. Last chance for the Tigers. Down by 2. It's been quite a stretch for LSU. Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy. I had a game he played against Missouri early in the year. He looked like a Heisman winner. We know that Kim Mulkey and the women's basketball team, national champions. Jay Johnson and the baseball team also won the College World Series. Then you have Paul Skeens, the player of the year. Dylan Cruz, the Golden Spikes Award winner. That is all kinds of winning. Multiple national championships. The number 1 and number 2 player in the draft. 7th College World Series title for LSU. And by the way, with Iowa winning today women's basketball and cruising, and hard to believe I checked that score for the first time a moment ago, they're going to lock up more than likely with LSU again. Get a couple of days for the right to go to the Final Four, a rematch of last year's championship game. But a lot of winning in Baton Rouge, and Will McIntyre, who got the strikeout to end the 8th, the only batter he faced, is back out there in the 9th. Milam, Braswell, and Neal, 7, 8, and 9.
I think this is such a key batter for both teams right here. You've got to get that leadoff runner on if you're LSU, just to try to start adding a little extra pressure to Will McIntyre.
And Milam's 0 for 3. LSU trying to avoid what would be a 2-7 start in league play. And, you know, it was several weeks ago I talked to Jay Johnson about winning that national title. And, you know, there's a lot of people in Baton Rouge who care about Tiger baseball, just as there are a lot of people in Northwest Arkansas who love their Razorbacks and their baseball team. And that pitch just does miss, 2-1. And he told me, hey, I don't mind the expectations. I'd rather have to temper down some enthusiasm than build up a fan base. You don't have to rise up the fan interest for either of these two programs.
No, that's exactly right.
But LSU does not want to start 2-7 in league play, and Milam's not providing a very big target for McIntyre, but he does get the swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. And Arkansas will shift now.
Yeah, they're going to bring Jared Sprague-Lott from third base all the way over, basically playing in where the second baseman normally plays. Stovall playing shallow right field.
I might worry about a little cue shot dribbled up that third base line, but McIntyre going for another strikeout, and he gets a chopper into the Razorback dugout.
I think this is when the shift makes a lot of sense. You've got a guy that throws a lot of cutters down and into left-handed batter Milam. If he's going to hit it, he's going to probably pull that baseball on the ground.
Big batter to begin this 9th inning in a 2-run game. Milam really crowding the plate, and the pitch is hit hard but fouled outside of first.
Be a little surprised if Ben McLaughlin is not playing a little closer to the line, but Arkansas does have a two-run lead. So I think if it's a 1-run lead, he plays right on that line.
He might feel like he can get to a ball on the chalk, but he's not going to get to one that's foul.
You know, he is right-handed, so that glove is on the left hand, so a little easier to cover that ground to his left.
McIntyre, a long pause before he's ready to deliver this 2-2 pitch. Milam ducked and it went behind him. Had he stood his ground, he might have worn it.
That's just one of those balls. It's tough when it's coming at your head to say, hey, stay in there and take this one for the team. But it literally was behind him. Almost hit his bat.
Sure did. Almost got the bat. He just didn't know which direction to move. 3-2. Another tapper foul. And this at bat in this battle will take a little bit longer to find a verdict. It's been Tigert, Frank, Dietz, and McIntyre, 4 pitchers for Arkansas, and this the 9th pitch of this at bat to begin the 9th inning. Look at that diminutive strike zone that Milam is providing. He's going to swing away, and he lifts one in the air to left field. This ball's carrying pretty well. Wilmsmeyer, the captain of the outfield, calls off Edmondson to make that grab. He had a little better angle. Big first out in the 9th inning.
With Wilmsmeyer's speed, you know he's going to get to that ball in the air. And you're right, that ball carried just a bit.
Braswell has been a tough out. He's been on base all 3 times. 2 singles, a hit by pitch, and a run scored.
I think the scouting report against Will McIntyre is you've got to see the baseball up in the zone. You can't chase anything. It starts about the waist high. It's going to go down and out for a ball. There's another one right there.
2-0. LSU, again, they've lost 7 of their last 8 games here in Fayetteville. Last night, a 10-inning game. Could have gone in either direction before we got to extras. Hawks trying to sweep today with a victory. LSU at one point had a 4-1 lead. Two-one pitch misses the corner.
I think if Helfrich doesn't try to pull that ball back so far, I think he might get the strike call right there. It is on the corner, the bottom part of the zone, but that big jerk that he tried to pull it back in, I think cost McIntyre a strike.
3-1 pitch. And there's a base runner.
That is a huge walk.
Tigers will bring the tying run to the plate. It also means Tommy White will get to bat, barring a double play here.
That's right. Arkansas has Stone Hewlett in the bullpen. McLaughlin, the first baseman, is going to play behind the runner. They're going to let him have second base. I mean, if you're LSU, I take second base right here. They're playing him way back.
Brady Neal, big wave and a miss. Neal has 3 home runs. Singled in 3 at-bats. He flied out to left his last time in. Hard hit. McLaughlin has it deflect off his glove. Stovall can't pick it up, and there's 2 runners on base with 1 out. It is a game of inches so often. And instead of getting it out, the ball was off the glove of McLaughlin. Stovall couldn't pick it up with the spin. No chance to make a play.
We talk about positioning, but you also think about McLaughlin's as a right-handed first baseman. If he's left-handed, he makes that play right there because the glove's on the other hand. He reaches that baseball, and that's an out.
Maybe the most feared hitter in college baseball bats. He's homered. He's hit into 2 double plays today, and he fouls one back and over the screen. He's hit into 8 double plays this year, and a ground ball to an out infielder could end the game, but a long ball would put LSU back in front. He led off this game with a home run, his 9th of the season, his 60th of his career.
Yeah, a man with just tremendous bat speed.
Even a ball to the gap could score 2. Kling running at first. And that misses off the corner from McIntyre to Tommy White.
Fans wanted it. Pitched several baseballs outside, and again, just a great zone by Brandon Cooper, the home plate umpire.
Helfrich wants it in. That ball lifted in the air to left field. Down into the corner. Will this one stay fair? It is a foul ball. Home run distance way up above the seats.
LSU wants to challenge it.
Arkansas fans helping out down the line and left. And these are the toughest calls on review to see. It's even hard to find the baseball sometimes, let alone
home run ball,
to have that right angle.
Home run or not, the previous player is under review.
That was an absolute moonshot by Tommy White. The wind is blowing kind of foul pole to foul pole, and this is such a tough angle to see. You see where the third base umpire, Javaro January, he is right on that line.
That's clearly going to be foul.
Yeah.
I will say this. Tommy White had a homer the other day, Troy, and Kyle Peterson pointed it out. He cut off his backswing in order to keep the barrel on the ball. Had he really just thrown his hands out there, he would have hit it in that spot. He almost stopped his backswing and barely cleared the fence and left. but it was an incredible display of barrel control, and I felt like he was trying to do the same thing there.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. He is a next-level hitter, and we talked a lot about his approach to even batting practice. It
wise beyond his years.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Such a plan.
Funny thing
After
was in that
review,
previous shot.
The call of foul stands. Foul ball.
Stands. Fans react with some excitement, but the LSU pitchers in the bullpen, without even looking, they were pointing fair. The fans were pointing foul. That gentleman thinks he knew that it was a foul the entire time. It also sends the count to 1-2. Braswell at second, Kling at first. Good speed on the bases for the Tigers. And the pitch from McIntyre. A liner to third, a throwback to second, double play! The third double play that Tommy White hit into today. And the Razorbacks sweep LSU out of town, and they've won 17 straight home games. A new Baum-Walker Stadium record. A game of inches indeed, and the inches and the victory went to the Razorbacks this afternoon.
Brett, all game long we've talked about positioning of defensive players. Jared Spraglott in the perfect position off of a line drive off the bat of Tommy White. He's playing well off the line. Look where he catches this baseball, and no chance for the runner at second base. And that is a huge sweep for Arkansas Razorback. You can see Tommy White just going, I can't believe it. I thought off the bat, as a hitter, you think that ball is through, and you just don't think that third baseman's going to play that far into the hole.
So he grounded into two double plays, and he lines into the game-ending DP, and you can understand the frustration. Some of those balls were hit extremely well. Troy, how about 17 straight wins at Baum-Walker Stadium?
It's just phenomenal, this Arkansas team. You know, the epitome of consistency, and it all starts right there with Dave Van Horn.
We'll be back Tuesday. We'll endure the cold for a game against Arkansas State, 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. Hogs sweep LSU. They'll remain number one, 8-1 in SEC play. For Troy Eklund and our entire crew, I'm Brett Dolan, thanking you for tuning in today. Once again, our final score, the Razorbacks take down LSU 7-5. So long, good afternoon from Baum-Walker.